be done in like an hour and a half probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Adios, everyone.
Bye.
All right. We are live right now, by the way.
Go. Hold on. I'm just getting.
Live.
I'm getting in chat too.
No, you're good. I do need to fix this. With
Yeah, alright, please. Yeah, description. That's funny. Imagine creating a draft league metagame. This is gonna be fire. Exactly. I'm so excited for this.
Exactly.
This is I've been irrationally excited to do this for like a month since we initially came
we've
up
been, we've been thinking about this for a minute. Stream Pong. Kabam. And we are live. How's it going, by the way, Frosty? Hopefully good. Hopefully good. I do want to type up like a kind of like a rough, like how many mons we're allowing. In the
oh, like a quick explanation.
Yeah.
Right,
creating our perfect draft.
Yeah, it's 450.
Meta.
Yeah, what's up, Bash?
Shit, dude. Can I not do like enter?
Just do shift enter. Can you not do shift enter? I did
shift enter. Watch high. Yeah, see? Damn it. Right. Here, I'll type it out on Discord and copy paste it. All right, we'll get going in just a second, guys.
We're trying to figure this out. Don't worry.
Creating. Oh, perfect.
I'm so hyped, dude. Hunky, this is gonna be fire. Once we actually get into the tier list and start like contemplating what we want, it's gonna get real fire. And Keegan the GOAT, of course.
Base rules. 150.
Is this this is neither the Basketball Dynasty one or the BBR. This is for OGDL, right? We're
gonna test it in OGDL. Yeah. So basically what we're doing, and I'm gonna type it up, is we are taking a national dex board. So this is last season's OGDL tiers. Taking a national dex board, we're cutting it down to 450, basically making our own region and basing the decks based on what the most balanced but also enjoyable draft league format could possibly be. And we are going to run it as a national dex season in OGDL in a few months. We're going to basically get an initial tier list going today. Whenever we finish the initial tier list, we'll run a bunch of speed tours in the server. And whenever we get it down to the point where we think like, okay, this is it, we're going to run a season, and there will be a long form video probably coming out in like 6 months, on the format itself.
Yeah, after
base rules,
it's going to take time.
It's 450 Pokemon draftable. Is there anything else we want to mention?
Yeah, so it's 450 Pokemon. That includes like 1-pointers and everything. It'll be Nat Dex rules. We're gonna get into the specifics as we build it, but like think of like moves, megas. It'll generally be like traditional Nat Dex that OGDL has run in the past. We might make changes on that, but that's what'll be in spirit. The idea with this is that we're picking a group of Pokemon that we want to play in the format, but we're not restricted to the same things as Nintendo would be, for example. So the first example we're going to get into will be the Tapus. To include a Tapu, we don't have to include all of them. We can choose the one we want, for example. So that's kind of what we're getting into.
450?
That's kind of the main premise of where this idea came from. The reason we like Tapu Fini, but not Tapu Koko.
The reason we went 450, Oliver, is because if you look at the last couple Nat decks, it's about what's draftable. We looked specifically at Sword and Shield, and it was like 454 was on the MCP board that season.
It was 436, so I rounded up to 450.
So we got more then, yeah.
Yeah. So 450 Pokemon was the Sword and Shield. The Sword and Shield cart metagame. And so we're going with that size for now, unless we deem that we want more or want less. We went with 450 because it's a round number.
Yeah, basically. Tapu Bulu. I mean, I don't hate that guy. We don't know if we're gonna allow him, and that's that's the beauty of it. We could just not like that guy. Also, is my thumbnail not showing up on YouTube for you guys?
It showed up for me.
It is.
Is this for the Natix League? No, J. Ricky. This is for something different.
No. This is... So basically what we're doing, Jared, and again, we're going to have to explain this a lot, so get used to it, guys. We are creating what we envision our perfect draft league being. Right? So, what that entails... Oh, thanks for reminding me. My main reason is early gen regional decks usually sucks because the pool's too small. Well, this isn't early gen regional decks, you know?
Yeah, this is like last months of.
This is Crown Tundra regional decks. Yeah. Like that's how much this is. Nothing else for me, dude. Stream's tweaking. All right, I'll fix it. Give me a sec.
We also have done. There's also like plenty of formats that like run very well with like 300 Pokemon in them. So like I'm not too concerned. What price are Gothitelle, Dracovish, and Regieleki, and Charizard Y Crest Course? Charizard Y Crest, that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up, Blue. I'm glad you brought that up. Make sure to watch on my channel in a couple weeks when I finally finish that video.
Dude, that's so true.
I guess we're gonna get into it. I don't have an opinion on Dracovish.
I don't know why it's not showing up with a thumbnail, but the thumbnail's cool. It's Iron Hands. Right.
No sleep clause? No, sleep is banned for this.
For sure.
Actually.
No, okay.
Was it Crown Tundra like 600?
It's 600 total, but this is 450 draftable Pokemon. So they are draftable. Yeah, the dex itself is not 450. 450 Pokemon on the draft board.
Yeah. So like in theory, with all of like the first form Pokemon, it'll probably get close to that.
In Power Loud, that's something we'll discuss.
These are Pokemon that are strictly draftable.
That's something we'll discuss. Blue, shut up, idiot. But yeah, again, that's kind of why we're here, was we're going to discuss it out loud. Sounds good for me. Let's go. Okay, cool. Regardless, it's fine. You guys are already here, right? So basically, we have a couple Pokemon we want to talk about, whether we want to save them, get rid of them, whatever it might be. But also, we're going to leave the floor open to you guys, and we can obviously discuss these and talk about them and say, like, hey, we want to allow this guy, we don't want to allow this guy. What Pokemon do you guys like playing and you miss in Paldea decks, and what Pokemon do you hate playing against, kind of thing, right? So, alright, do we want to start with the Tapus?
We could start with the Tapus to kind of get through that kind of initial idea that this came through and kind of walk through.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of what it looks like.
So, like, it's the main issue is Tapu Koko, right? And now, keep in mind, too, if we ban a Pokemon, it's not saying it's inherently broken. We are trying to make a balanced deck because a lot of these regional decks don't feel very balanced because certain things are missing in some and certain things are a little too over-oppressive. And it's also a fun thing. And personally, I don't want to play with, like, Koko Paradox Mons, and there's Paradox Mons I want in this deck because I think they're dope, right? I also think that Koko is a very boring Pokemon. So 450 not including NFTs and Ubers. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, 450 Pokemon on the draft board itself.
100%. So immediately, one we can get rid of then, because we're talking about it, is Koko. I'm not a big Koko guy at all. Well, like, I like Koko, but again, it's also just not a very exciting Pokemon, and I think the prospect of it in Gen 9 seems very not fun.
Like, adding Koko requires you to, like, ban or, like, tier so many more things differently. I think it's just
guys like Iron Julius low-key become broken with, like, things like they become crazy.
Exactly.
Or, like, a guy like Bundle or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Like, this obviously wasn't, like, a real thing in Gen 7, but people did run, like, Alolan Raichus to abuse with it, and, like, that is even more.
And that Pokemon sucks.
That Pokemon sucks, but when you have, like, real Pokemon that can do that, can we please allow Koko but ban? You know what? I think
Blue, you're so bored right now. I'm gonna fight Blue. Koko be number one in every draft ever. I don't know if it's that broken, but again, I just think it's not a very enjoyable Pokemon. Now, with the rest of the Tapus, or any of the other ones, at least right now, we can always come back and get rid of stuff and add stuff back later. Are the rest of them, like, Mons we don't enjoy? Like, is Lele kind of a cheesy Mon? Do we not like Lele? I personally hate playing Lele.
Yeah, I don't enjoy playing against Lele that much, but I don't like it. To me, given like the current decks, I'm not like, it's not like a high priority for us to like remove it.
We'll talk about it later. I don't like Lele because I feel like it's again, it's a very brainless, like, point and click Pokemon. And I don't find the counterplay around it very, like, interesting.
Yeah,
just
no,
ran a
I
Dex,
I
which
can
is
see
Coco.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Now, is there any other Pokemon that you had on like the board, mons that like we just think are giga unfun? Like a Sneasler type
I
guy?
mean, I've got a lot of ones that I think are unfun.
I think that is the best way to start this is because again, it's balanced, but it's also fun, right? Like we want the metagame to be
Yeah, I
enjoyable.
think
So if there's cheesy
the
guys,
biggest problem that I have with the board is, and we're gonna get into like how we want to do the Natdex aspect of it. I think Mega Diancie with the additional moves, I think is my biggest.
yeah. In
one
low
that I have a
key,
problem with.
I haven't used Dia this gen, but it also got Spikes this gen. That's another big addition to it. And it has Mystical Fire, Earth Power, Encore, things like that. Move Champ
Yeah,
Power,
I'd
Spectre,
really.
and Zama. Ooh, that is a good call. Fuck Spectrier. We'll get to that in a minute, but we're gonna
Yeah,
we'll
we're gonna.
discuss
Yeah, we'll
the
get to like the
Diancie.
standard ones like that in a second.
Yeah.
I think Diancie, like with the new Natdex moves, I've never been a big fan of that, but I think Diancie becomes so frustrating to play against with that. Without, it was obviously very good in Usim. Oras, it was balanced by the fact that you were forced to run Protect for the speed.
Usim was good, but yeah, I mean, it gained a
fun.
lot of utility in that regard, I think.
I just don't think that mon's going to be fun in Gen 9.
Well, another thing, too, is, like, Physical Dia is also a possibility now, too. It got Play Rough, too.
100%.
Like, it got like, a physical Fairy Stab, to where there were matchups, I had it in, like, the BBL Tour, which is the Natdex Tour last gen, and there were matchups where I was, like, Diamond Storm, Play Rough, and then, like, I would just, like, tech on, like, Earth Power, Mystical Fire for whatever steal. But, like, being physical was also really, really big, too. Mary Heracross is Trailblaze now. That might be so much fun. That is a base mega. We do love us on that.
Yeah, cool Mega Heracross is in this 100%.
I'm fine with moving it. I'm fine with getting rid of Dia. As I like using Dia, but again, it's also.
I think Dia we can leave it for Usim and Oras. We don't need it in our situation. Yeah, and Body Press too. Nonetheless.
Yeah. It's again just kind of a little bit of a corny Pokemon. I do really feel strongly about getting rid of Spectre. I think it's a Pokemon that is it hijacks so many matchups so quickly, and it just doesn't lead to any interesting gameplay. Like, I don't know. I feel like when I have to structure half of my team to not lose to a single Pokemon, yeah, I might not lose to it, but I just think that's just very uninspiring. Keep Mega Altaria and Seb. We'll probably keep Mega. I like Mega. I like most of the Megas.
Don't worry. If I'm here, Mega Altaria is on the tier list. You don't have to worry about that.
He's an honest guy. Yeah, that's an honest Pokemon. So
yeah, so that guy easy gone. Spectre is gone.
Is there any of the big ones? What about the Urshifus? That's a hot take.
So I think the Rapid Strike one, I'm a little bit more interested.
But the thing is, one big thing too we talked about is consistency. Those are the same Pokemon. So if we're allowing Cubfu to be in the decks, and like the whole point is to allow everything in the decks to be.
Yeah, I guess that's always something I haven't played the DLC, so I don't even know.
So it's
like.
Cubfu.
I'd rather remove.
It's Cubfu, and then you give it like a scroll to evolve, and it's either Water or Rapid Strike or Single Strike. Right. So they are the same Pokemon, just it's a branch evolution. So I personally, again, it's another Pokemon. It's point and click. It's a Pokemon that's incredibly over-centralized in the sense that, like, if you don't have that fairy for Terra or for Urshi Dark, you pick one every single time. And do I think it's broken? No. And again, that's the whole thing. I don't think Coco's broken. But do I think it's an interesting Pokemon to have in a meta? I don't like Pokemon that force you to have specific things to deal with them.
Yeah. One other thing to note with Urshifu, at least Single Strike, is that we are probably not doing Terra, which also, like, compounds that Pokemon's problem in this.
Yeah, we're not slapping Terra Fairy on everything. That means we also remove
those guys are gone. Yeah, those are probably easy.
Oh, another easy one is this idiot, Dragapult.
Dragapult, Dio Speed, both gone.
I don't think we have to. I think removing the guys who are broken is kind of a given. We just open up more room for the decks, right?
Yeah.
Deoxys. But again, though, keep in mind that means they're getting rid of Dio Defense. Are we okay with doing that? I'm personally okay with it. If it means Dio Speed.
We've lost Dio Defense. How will we ever live? I think we can find another spiker on the board.
I think Dio Speed. I think Dio Speed and Dragapult are fun enough to keep if you are the user who has them. If not, no, I do not think so. I think they're awful.
Horribly.
Yeah, they are terrible to build against. They're awful.
Yeah.
Unless you get them, then no. We can continue looking through this 18-point tier. and I guess we kind of have to talk about, well, we're kind of talking about Terra. We're kind of tiering this, assuming that Terra isn't going to be a factor in this league. Because again, personally, I don't enjoy Terra. That means a guy like Gambit, I don't think he's very broken without Terra.
I don't think it's a problem with.
Yeah, I think he's a cool, like, you know, strong mid-tier rocker. And again, in this Natdex format, he'd have like knockoff and pursuit, which would be a really cool tool. But he also keeps that nasty 4x fighting weakness and that really, really slow speed.
There are a lot of good fighting types that get introduced when you open up the decks as well.
Especially with these megas, which we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
I guess that's another thing. We just banned Mega Diancie, one of the best Mega Pokemon all time in Draft League. All time in Draft League is Mega Gallade. I think it's a fun mon personally, and from both sides. Whether it be like you're just clicking SD3 attacks, whether you're 4 attacks, whether you're bulk up, whether you're like Will-O-Wisp Gallade, which I've seen, whether you're Wish Glade. I saw a replay in like a replay stream where Bash brought sub bulk up disable Glade and like smoked with mono Drain Punch. And regen, to be honest, brain dead ability. We'll ban the brain dead regen guys, but I like Torn too. So, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So I think if we look at 18, Gallade for me is something like we watch in the speed tours. I'm not like ready to get rid of it. I think like if we just move King Gambit and Regieleki just out of here quickly, just to
not. Yeah, I mean, do you want to just move their points down? Yeah, just move their points. Just put them in like.
Yeah, I'll just
put them in like normal
like
point amounts. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put them into like 14 because we're not gonna get there.
But yeah, I think Gallade is a fun and inspiring Pokemon to build with. But there's another Pokemon, again, in the same tier, and the reason he's max points in this, he's traditionally never been close to as good as Gallade, but I think in a Natdex format, Mega Metacham is something to look at, man. That guy can boost speed now. Do we think Metacham that can boost his speed with Trailblaze is something that's worth looking at? To ban?
If I look at 18, I'm not a big fan of Darkrai, but I'm, in these formats.
We'll talk. That's a Pokemon we'll talk about before we move on. I'm just kind of like yelling out what's
right now.
Yeah, I'm just talking about what's
Gallade
here
are
with
like
me.
the two. I think those Pokemon are interesting, and I think there's enough tools to deal with some of these fighting types in Natdex generally. I think for me, I'd have to see like where Trailblaze, for example, comes into play with Mega Metacham in this format. I don't have a
My big thing with Medi, right? Will this be OGDL Season 3 formats? It will be. Yes. Medi also got Thief. That's cool. I'm actually curious what a calc with that would look like. Hold on, I'm gonna look.
Yeah.
Like, we'll just pick Mew, right? Mega Metacham into Mew. We'll go max defense Mew. Because like if it doesn't 2-hit KO the bulky psychic, does it matter? No. So we're gonna calc worst case scenario with not Spectral Thief. With Thief. I mean.
Oh, do you want to share your screen by the way? I can't see.
Oh, I'm not. You're right. Yeah.
Define fun because Melmetal doesn't create interesting gameplay, but yeah, like that's like a perfect example of what we're going for.
Yes,
here.
100%. So yeah, we're thinking like we want fun to where like it's stimulating, it's exciting for the players to play with, but also the main goal is for it to be a balanced metagame because regional decks typically struggle, and there are certain things in certain regional decks that are bad. Like for example, Paldea, Dark Spam is crazy because it's very, very limited fairy pool. I think Dark Spam is incredible in Paldea, right? So that's something to keep in mind, right? We want to make sure that our decks becomes, good. The reason we're kind of talking about like inspiring gameplay, like a guy like Melmetal is a good example. It doesn't, is because we're really early on, so we're kind of just cutting out the top half of the top of the board that we don't enjoy, and we can kind of formulate the meta around that, right?
Yep.
What is this draft league? This will be OGDL Season 3 in my Discord server. It probably won't happen for a month or two because we're gonna make this initial board and we're gonna test it a lot in the server for speed tours. So if you want to try the format, go ahead and join the server. We'll have speed tours every week or two on the format. So
while you guys are joining the server, make sure to like and subscribe for more of that content.
Oh, thank you, Jason.
Thanks for the big plug,
really
dude.
coming in.
Appreciate you, big
All right,
dog.
back on mute. So you can keep doing your thing.
Thanks, man. Wait, has he been here the whole time?
No, he joined like a minute ago.
Yeah, I did. Well, I have streamer mode on, so I didn't even hear it. But yes, Melmetal's a great example, and we'll get to that when we get there. Is he broken? No. Is he kind of a dick? Yeah. Like, he's not a fun Pokemon to play.
It's real annoying and not fun to play against.
So, again, but we want to kind of have it on both sides, right? Medi, the reason I think there's an argument to keep it is because there's not much more fun than clicking high jump kick with a mega metagame, dude. Like, you just kill something, and you have to reward.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, the reason Medi was balanced and fun before is because it's a Pokemon with shitty bulk and a shitty speed tier, or a mediocre speed tier at 100, right? Now we can kind of circumvent that, and where I was talking about Trailblaze kind of coming into play is on those mid grounds, right? There's very often Medi will force a switch into some Rocky Helmet pivot that's faster than it as you like bait a Zen Headbutt, or you bait the high jump kick, or you bait an Ice Punch or whatever. You get in on Rocky Helmet and you like, you know, get into it. But yes, it also can CC now. I was more so talking about when I was using Medi back in the day, obviously, when it was like an actual Pokemon in the game. So I think that's where Trailblaze becomes scary. Or you're in with your fat, you know, slow Pokemon that's on 15%. I'm going to go with my Medi. I'm going to Trailblaze to revenge you, and I'm going to outspeed. And it's not like you can make a mid-ground pivot out to prevent that, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, if I look at 18, I'm generally okay with everything in here. Darkrai, maybe not, but
yeah. So we'll leave Medi for now, but we're going to test it. Mawile is another big one. I hate playing against Mega Mawile. I really do. I think it's a crazy speed tier. It's a Pokemon that's ridiculously strong, and I don't like the 50-50s it forces. And I think it's another one of those Pokemon like Melmetal that is a guaranteed 1-for-1, 2-for-1, and sometimes there's very often not anything you can do about it. And it's a guaranteed 1-for-1 in a way that, like, there are no switch-ins to it, right? There's Pokemon I like that. Like, Iron Hand's a big example, but I like Iron Hands because it's a little bit more reactive in the sense that, like, you can kind of bounce off of your opponent well and it gives you a one-time check to something, whereas Mawile comes in, it's like, I've decided I'm going to kill something now because you sent in something slow. You know? Plus, has that Mickey potential to just win the video game. So, I don't know what you guys think, what you think about Mawile or what chat thinks about Mawile, but I think it's a little much.
Agree. I don't know if it's too powerful, but I do dislike. The problem is it's not necessarily a 1-for-1 mon in like the same sense as hands.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying it's a guaranteed 1-for-1 mon. On
yeah,
top
also,
of the
like,
ability to just Mickey the game.
Plus fairy typing is much better than fighting electric as a type to get in as well.
Yeah. It's the best typing in the game. Fairy Steel is the best typing in the game by far.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, its stats aren't crazy.
So yeah,
They're not.
Yeah,
I mean, but if they were any worse, then it would be a ridiculous Pokemon. I think that's the whole point, right? Mawile is actually the example I always go to whenever people are like, we could allow speed pass. Like, no. Certain Pokemon are designed to not get faster.
You can never allow speed pass.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, it's not a, I mean, it brings out fun tech like Worry Seed. Yeah, that's true. But I'm trying to think of how applicable that is. Iron Hands and Thunder. That's my.
If that is like the responses to run stuff like Worry Seed and trying to like predict around that, is that necessarily good gameplay? is my question then.
It's like, a Pokemon that's also traditionally like
in certain scenarios, but
danced on that ban line very often.
Yeah.
You know, like very often Mawile is it's here, it's banned, it's here, it's banned, especially back in the day. Right? So
and the goal is not like, I guess it's like a reminder, the goal is not to do this 100% objectively on power level. Like that would be the approach we would take for like the BBR, for example, where we would be more focused on a little bit more objectivity.
We're creating a metagame from scratch. Yeah, we're creating this from scratch, and we're gonna fuck up some things in this tier list. I guarantee you, we're gonna miss something big, and somebody's gonna smoke through a speed tour, and we're gonna go, oh, oops, you know? Like, maybe we need to add this guy back, or maybe we need to get rid of this guy, right? Like, this isn't a one-day project, so this is something we're gonna look into a lot.
Yeah, the goal is to get a starting point.
Yeah, 100%. So I remove Mawile for now, but we can always add.
I
back
also
later.
removed Rapid Strike. I saw he was still in the dog. So he's on there.
The next one is Mega Garchomp. I know we were kind of talking about him as an example of like cheesy Niantic stuff. I personally think Mega Garchomp is cool. I think having that guy as one of the better mons in the format is dope because yes, you get a really, really bulky Pokemon that has access to Scale Shot now. But I think people also don't really understand like the way we play around that Scale Shot, right? Very often we see fairies with an air balloon. Very often we see a Scarfer faster than 92 base speed. Much faster than 92 base speed. I think that there's a lot of cool offensive and defensive counterplay to it, that can be exploited. But I also think that it's a Pokemon that's very versatile in the sense like, yeah, you can SD sweep, but I think you need to be a little bit smarter with Chomp. Like in the Orash tour recently, Darkrai used Mega Chomp, and obviously it couldn't scale shot in that generation, but he was running Rocks variants. He was running, SD mixed with a Fire Blaster or Draco. He was running full special in some matchups. And now we can run Spikes on it too, and Dragon Tail. It's really fat, it's really fun. I think that they're both fine, personally. They're Pokemon that I like it.
I think the metagame we will also build will have a lot of fairy types in it, just because that's something that needs to be corrected for.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at a lot of like the powerful Pokemon in Gen 9 as well, this fairy type is something we need to have probably an abundance of.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's definitely worth trying for sure. I think like Scale Shot in some essence is kind of a free-ish click in Gen 8 against a lot of teams, but it won't be in Nat Deck, so I think we'll probably be fine with it, at least to start.
So Clyde said, I personally always advocate for a complex ban, no hypnosis on Darkrai, because if Berlin's an inaccurate move, he's bannable. But if misses a 16 or 16 pointer, I think my goal with this is to not have complex bans.
Yeah,
we're creating the metagame, so there shouldn't be a reason to have things that like we have to allow to fill out the decks and fill out the upper tiers by banning them. And I think that kind of leads to the discussion of, is Darkrai one of those mons where like it has like a crazy ceiling, it's a little bit Mickey in the sense like those hypnosis variants, like you might have a great Darkrai check, but if you put it to sleep and it takes like 15% each turn, and then you like sludge bomb it because it guarantees stays asleep and then it just cleans through the rest of your team, right? Is that fun, inspiring, or even balanced gameplay if we can choose to ban it and not allow it? Can you allow Magearna, but it has to hold the Pokeball and can't have two training kits? Yeah, 100%.
That's crazy.
Great job. Mega Blastoise? Yeah?
No, Mega Blastoise is
no.
That goes fine.
Okay, well then we have to decide if we want to do complex bans. I love Mega Blastoise, but that dude gets Shell Smash.
I always forget that the thing can Shell Smash now.
Yeah. Not when you can pick whatever you want.
That's
exactly.
tough. I like that.
Which is tough. Dude, I love Mega Blastoise. That is my favorite Oras Mega. I spam that guy in Oras. I love me some Mega Stoice, dude. But he's right. He's right. Like, that would, if we're going to not complex ban anything, if we're not doing Kyurem Black on Tuesday, then we can't justifiably keep Mega Stoice on the tier list.
I'm about that. Are Terra and Z moves allowed? Definitely not Z moves. Maybe Terra, probably not.
Yeah.
The goal is for this to fit within Generation 9 rules broadly. There will be some Nat Deck stuff where we have like Pursuit and things come back.
Well, I mean, Megas aren't a Gen 9 mechanic, you know?
Exactly, yeah. But so it'll largely be based around Gen 9.
By the way, I'm getting rid of Blastoise.
Yeah, no.
Fortunately, we have to. As much as I love that guy, they're 100% right.
No, he's gonna be...
and that means regular Blastoise is gone too. So it's all things we gotta keep in mind.
Probably not the biggest loss in the world.
I do love me some regular Blastoise though. Also a good mon though. Like it's not like anything flashy. It's a good mon though.
True.
So there's just things we have to keep in mind when we do this. Now back to Darkrai though. Do we think Darkrai is one of those guys where like, is he worth keeping around?
Wait, why do you have to ban regular Blastoise as well as Mega Blastoise?
It has to fit the...
There's no complex bans. We're not allowing this, but it can't Mega Evolve. We're not allowing this, but it can't use this move, right? So if Mega Blastoise is banned, Blastoise isn't in the decks. We are only allowing Pokemon in this decks that you can draft.
Yeah.
Obviously, I guess, like, technically the Little Cup versions are there. You can draft them at one point. But, like, our draft board is going to have 450 draftable Pokemon, and you can either draft them or no.
Regular Blastoise gone.
Or Gengar, Gengar's another big one. Yeah. Yeah, if the objective is to have a no-ban metagame. Yeah.
I feel like that's not how it usually works.
Yeah, but we're doing no complex bans. We're not having Ubers, we're not having anything like that.
Someone said Mega King, damn.
No Metagross, Lucario,
Gengar.
Gengar.
He used to say Mega King.
Oh, those are good shouts.
Kangaskhan, because you always... Kangaskhan's a big one.
Allowed.
Yeah, Kangaskhan's another one, because you can't allow seismic toss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also going to remove regular Kyurem from the board while I'm in here.
Yeah, that's not... To be fair, I'd rather remove regular Kyurem anyways. Like, it's a tool.
That's true.
That guy's a
It's
tool.
not the biggest
Especially in
flaw.
Natex when he can roost. That guy's a tool, man. I'm cool.
No, yeah, no Metagross, Lucario, or Gengar. Yeah, like there are certainly
Gengar
going
and
to be
Lucario,
some...
I'm not as pressed about. I like Gengar. I think it's super fallen off. Metagross is
we have
tough,
Monkey
dude.
Dory, so we should be fine there. But Megas are usually drafted separately from their regular forms. Yes, but the framing of which like this is designed is that we're not banning Pokemon necessarily. Is we're choosing species of Pokemon that fit within the rule set that we have. So if we have Blastoise within our Pokedex, that means it can Mega Evolve through its Mega Stone that it has. So it's not...
It has access to all of the tools available to it.
Yeah. I would say change the frame of... It's kind of weird because what we're doing is taking Napdex and deleting it down to what we want, because that's easiest to do. Think of it as we're starting from 0 and building to 450, rather than banning from 1,000 to 450. Because I think how I would rethink a little bit of the process to get to the decks that we're building.
I'm gonna update the pin message.
I'm just gonna wait for Kaz to carry your tier list as per usual. That's crazy. There's no way Kaz.
I know that was. I'm not even looking at chat. I know that was blue.
Oh, it's
there it is. There it is. That's crazy.
Weird with that mindset. Yeah, I understand. Like the goal is to take a different approach to it.
We're trying to make a dex that is quite literally perfect for draft league, to where it is only everything in the dex is draft league centered, to where there is no complex bans, there is no bannable Pokemon, there is no like unbalancedness in the thing, while it's still being enjoyable. Now, keep in mind, this might not be possible. We might, it physically might not be possible.
We might do Spiritomb, and it just turns out to be horrible. But after playing Gen 9, we can do better than Gen 9, I think.
Yeah. And we'll see. We could mess it up. You know? What's up, Burger? We could totally mess it up. But that's like kind of the whole point, is we're going to do this. We're going to test it a bunch. We're going to run a full season, and I'm going to kind of like survey everybody and ask if they enjoyed this more than Paldea Dex Draft. And if they did, we succeeded. If they didn't, we don't know what we're talking about. We got to stop yelling at Game Freak, you know?
This may take hours. Look, fully expect
this is a long-term project. This is not something that's going to happen soon. We're going to get an initial tier list, and then run a bunch of speed tours in the server, and then adjust it, run a bunch of speed tours, and then like a month or two, we'll run a league out of the Discord server, and then from there, we'll kind of we'll reassess at the end and see if we did it correctly. And this might be something we do in general in OGDL, which I think would be cool, and it's something that keeps everything interesting. I guess. Again, we keep waffling and not getting rid of Darkrai. Are we going to keep Darkrai, or are we going to get rid of it?
Let's just get rid of Darkrai. If you look, if you're suggesting it, then I'm not going to stand in your way of getting rid of Darkrai.
And did you get rid of the Megas that we were just talking about?
I didn't. Well, most of the ones that we talked about are already gone naturally, right?
No, Metagross, Gengar. Like, you have to remove all of them from the tier list. Metagross, Gengar, Lucario, Kangaskhan are the ones we thought of.
There's no way they're on this tier list anyway.
No, but you have to remove the base forms, is what I'm saying.
No,
and not if we're banning Terra from the rule set. Mr. Streamer, it's my friend's birthday. Can you wish him a happy birthday? His name is Money Guy 9559. Money Guy 9599. Happy birthday, dude.
Yeah, happy birthday, Money Guy.
Happy birthday, Money Guy.
I also just want to make sure we won't do stupid complaining Flutter is defense. No. It's a separate mon, completely separate mon. It is not in the same Pokedex line. It's not in the same Pokedex line. No Zam, Blaziken, Latias, or Latios. You're right. Those are more mons that are gone.
Well, I mean, let's not get too hasty.
They are. Okay. We could have the Mega Latios discussion. I think Latios is broken, but there are a lot of people who do not think Mega Latios is broken.
I'd say it's worth a discussion. I think
There's a lot of people who don't think Mega Latios is discussed. Mega Latios is initially...
I definitely do think Latios is a problem, but we can stay... I think it's worth...
Keep in mind, this is also Natdex too. I think Latios would be disgusting in a tier 2 where we cannot toxic that bastard.
Oh, yeah, that would be a problem.
Chat right now, vanilla chocolate icing. It's chocolate. Yeah, no, those are big ones too. 100%. So I think I think Latios is the one we discussed for sure right now. And keep in mind, we can keep Latios and get rid of Latios. They're not the same mon. Right?
Yep.
Right? Is Shed-Tail
Wait,
gone because
Shed-Tail is gone
Shed-Tail?
because of shit.
Well, we'll discuss Shed-Tail. I don't know yet. Maybe. We'll discuss
Yeah.
it.
Shed-Tail.
I think when we talk about complex bans,
Because
I
we
think
also
there's still going to be
we can also
blanket
just
move-
ban
there's so many
Cyclozar
blanket
because
move bans.
Cyclozar is broken with it, not fun with Regenerator, whereas Shed-Tail, there's a big opportunity cost to Shed-Tailing. And Orthworm is a bad Shed-Tail Pokemon, right? I think that is a viable discussion, right?
I also
guy.
think like broad move bans is different than complex bans. Like in terms of like a discussion point.
Maybe. We'll
that, like,
talk
we
about
can
it. I don't know if I
that we
agree.
can get into over time.
I'll start in with
Are you gonna ban the cockroach bug thing that has a smiley face that goes upside down?
Revival Blessing? No, I actually don't think Revival Blessing is broken, to be honest, anymore. I don't. I think it's actually harder, especially with the bug guy. Palmod, it just gives it more viability, in my opinion. But the bug guy is undraftable. And Bastion has some. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. There's so many things to do. We're gonna approach it from the tier list. There's so many things. Orthworm is a better Shed-Tail enabler. I think you're actually wrong. I actually hard disagree on that. I hard disagree. I understand better
I would
typing,
also
more
like
defensive.
to clarify one thing we should clarify also in the complex bans. You know, is we don't want to include complex bans, but like, yeah, I guess it depends on how you frame a move ban as a complex ban. The main goal of the complex ban is to not ban specific things on specific Pokemon.
But this is also a good discussion too, because like these are things that I didn't really think of, right? Like you said, Laylee, because of Moody. It's another thing to keep in mind, right? Banning all the Moody mons.
Allow Moody claws.
Well, I guess, that's kind of how we have to think about it.
Because it
doesn't do anything.
We can also do that because what's a Rabasca?
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I couldn't tell you what that Pokemon.
All right, we're gonna rein it in though, guys. We're gonna rein it in. We're gonna get back to the 18-point tier.
Talking, and then the whole chat derailed, which is unsurprising to say the least.
I can't make it on Tuesdays. Of course you can. It's a Tuesday Pokemon. Moody is a Smogon class, so if we're playing on Smogon classes, I guess that is a way of keeping
move clauses are different because like those are premises we can accept outside of like the way that this works.
Okay, so 18 Latios.
I think
you talk about Mega Latios and regular Latios. Huh?
I think 18 is fine for now.
No, we need to talk about Latios. Yeah, include Mega Latios. Hold on, I don't want to leak any team. Actually, I don't even think I have any teams that are big. We're gonna look at Mega Latios real quick. All right, gang. We're gonna look at it. Not Bidoof, yeah. Broken with Belgium mean speed. It's not. Yeah. So we're gonna look at regular Latios and Latios. So the main thing is like obviously initially off rip, Mega Latios is much better. It's a lot fatter, which is a big thing in my opinion. It's a lot stronger, but Latios with like a Life Orb with a Specs is a lot stronger. Latios with a Scarf is faster, and you have the freedom of items. Running a Resist Berry, running a Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Life Orb, whatever it might be, running a Soul Dew. Whereas Latios is a little bit more hard locked in what it does. I think that it's actually something that is testable. Obviously, yes, it gets all of its moves. It gets Luster Purge, and it could be something that's a little bit broken. Can we ban Lola Ninetales for being dog shit? You're not even gonna say it out loud. But I think, add Mega Latios to 18 and we'll test with it and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm not like,
obviously keep in mind too. What?
You put it on the same points as Latios.
We're not doing tiers right now.
Well, let's Jason, don't derail us. We're not gonna get on this yet.
All right.
This is we're not like super concerned about the points just yet.
I'm cool with Scizor and Torn. I know a lot of people don't like Torn. I think Torn is I love it as a glue piece. I think it's important to have Pokemon like that. And like just really quick to bring it up, what Mnaz said earlier, ban. I know he was joking, but he said ban Mega Sableye, no Saw allowed. I think one of the worst parts of Generation 9 is that no fatter playstyles are viable. I think it's bad either which way, right? If only fatter playstyles are viable or no fatter playstyles are viable, the metagame seems awful.
Thank you, Blue, for sticking up for that.
Thank you. It's definitely
not
Blue.
I've removed Latios as well.
Yeah, I think Mega Latios is too much. I think that one's broken. Could be wrong.
I also think one of the other reasons I want to keep Mega Garchomp is I think we have to be mindful that we can't we have to keep Mons nearish to the top of the format.
Yeah.
And I think losing Garchomp loses a little bit of identity of draft to a certain extent that I think it's worth. If Garchomp is
it's
even
just one
a little bit
form.
more
You're still drafting per form, Emil. So like,
Yeah.
Torn T and Torn I will be available, right? Torn T and Torn I. Next is Aegislash. How do we feel about Aegislash moving into the 17-point tier? I think Aegislash is a cool mon. I know you kind of were saying the opposite though, right? Or no, you were saying like Aegislash.
No, this is where the discussion point came from. Is I'm a really big Doublade guy. I think that guy's super fire. But do we have to sacrifice him to sacrifice Aegislash?
I personally like Aegislash. I think it's a fun, versatile Pokemon. Especially with the nerfs
it's
that it
definitely
got
not as bad as like it used to be.
Yeah, it got nerfed in Gen 8 big time.
Yep. And there's a lot of like naturally, you know, we talk a lot about like dark spam. A lot of the tier is a little bit more hostile generally towards it now. But like I think it's fun to keep. It can be pretty unhealthy. So like this is a watch list kind of guy for sure.
But another thing that sucks too is like I like how Ghost is a really good offensive typing and pretty ass defensively in a lot of instances. We have a little bit more of a bulky Ghost with an incredible typing. But two, one of the things I hate about Gen 9 is there's like 3 viable Ghosts and 2 of them you have to ban because they're too broken, right? We just axed those 2 Pokemon in Dragapult and Spectrier. This is the best Ghost in the format. And I think it should stay. I don't know. That's just me. But I think he's cool. I think it's cool. Again, we can adjust and figure it out, but it's a Pokemon that also fits on every play style, whether it be offense or just fat balance too. Yeah. Something stupid is about to come out of Blue's mouth. Miss Mag is broken. There you go. I knew something stupid was about to come out. What about Chi-Yu? Another one of those kind of like just like point and click mons, but is it bad to have something like that when there's so many egregious downsides to
I think
it?
with the format, I'm not as concerned with this.
I'm okay with Chi-Yu personally.
Especially
with no Terra, I think that guy's actually very mediocre. And like there are matches where you can definitely make it work, but like at the same time, like is it something that's like super pressing?
So I guess here's the next question, and maybe this is my lack of knowledge of like Pokemon in general. Does Roaring Moon count as a Salamence?
No,
in this
completely separate mon. Yeah, it's not. It's not the same in the decks. So they don't even like mention each other's names in the Pokedex. They're just kind of like
that's kind of what I thought. I did see them in the tier list as like Gen 3 and Gen 2 Mons, so I had to be 100% sure.
That wasn't on the tier list, you idiot! You're lying now. Now we're just lying. Oh my god. See, that is the case. If we did, no, we're gonna have to ban Mints. No, my boy.
No, we're not. No. Yeah, no. All right. Salamence is gone. That is something we have to ban.
Every Phoenix stocks on the rise. Yeah, I mean that's a guy that's for sure being allowed. I loved him. Love that guy. What'd you say, Jason?
We have to get rid of Metang too.
Can we at least keep Bagon?
No, we can't.
No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
The dumb tier list. I hate it here.
All right. We already talked about Garchomp Mega. Gouging Fire. How do we feel about this guy? Another Pokemon I think is probably fine.
Okay, I haven't been like super impressed.
This guy's again, if we're assuming no Terra, right? This guy's like disgusting with Terra. I think he's just like good, right?
Yeah.
He's just a good mon.
I think like one of the things to keep in mind with this like tier, is we're gonna have like better tools defensively. We're banning Ments because we're not allowed. We would remove Mega Salamence from the tier.
Where you going?
So because there's no Mega Salamence, we're having no Salamence.
So Keegan, question then.
1 sec, I'll be right back.
If you draft a Mega Pokemon, if you draft a normal Pokemon, do you draft all forms of it, or are you still going to keep things separate?
No. Oh my god, who is that? That is Jason. Speaking of while Owen is gone, I'm not even in the chat. How many likes do we have on this stream? If you are in the stream and haven't liked the stream, make sure that you like the stream for the greatest draft format of all time. See, we got 25 viewers and 12 likes. Let's get that number up.
Look at her.
Owen's got an ass that just won't quit.
Yeah, let's get that number up. Let's hit 20. We can hit 20 for this format, surely. Otherwise, like I look at 17 and nothing like super sticks out as like a big annoyance. I'm not a big Ursaluna guy. Like I would prefer the Ursalunas to not exist. But like I'm willing to be convinced
I gotta DM you.
I'm not super upset about. There's a big snowy. That is a big. There are some snowy emotes in the chat. Can you say hello, Snow? You're famous. Stop licking me. You're famous. Say hello. What
Hey,
mons
bro,
do we
stop
lead off
licking
on?
me.
I'm assuming we said yes to Great Tusk. That's the goat.
I don't think anything else like I'm super problematic with. I think Iron Valiant I'm willing to listen on, but like we have a lot of other broken fighting types.
I don't think he's bad. I'm not opposed to Valiant. I think
like if we're
again,
including stuff like Gallade, then Iron Valiant is fine for now.
Yeah. I think so.
The next thing that comes up for me is Ursaluna. Is what do we feel about the Ursaluna guys? I really dislike their stress on the building.
Yeah, I hate playing Blood Moon. That guy just doesn't die. It just doesn't die in one. Is it broken? No, but it feels very, very stressful to build and play around. You gotta lay down case now.
And like the regular Ursaluna is like kind of easy-ish to play around, but requires very specific tools that we don't know if we're gonna have available. So I say we just get rid of the Ursalunas for now. Like I'm fine
with that.
And if we need more threats, we can bring them back. But
is Loppany?
I'm not about them.
I don't think Lop's bannable. MNAS. No. I like Lop. We'll get there. I don't know if Lop is bannable.
I think there are a lot of good tools to handle Mega Loppany, I think.
Yeah.
That I think we should be fine to keep.
It's called a Rocky Helmet. And maybe a T-Spike.
Well, yeah, it's called Rocky Helmet.
Okay, how do we feel about Palafin? I don't know if I think... Yeah, Halpert on cue said Palafin. Wait, what are you doing?
Yeah, Yard Crest is the best core, by the way, in RS draft. Make sure you draft that. With more toxic users, I mean, it could be.
If you have not, I don't know. Would Blood Moon be easier to handle with the more toxic users? Yeah, but my issue with Blood Moon isn't its unkillability and like general. It's the fact that there's like 2 Pokemon in the entire game that can OHKO it. And I don't like that on a Pokemon that's that strong.
Yeah.
Also, more toxic users, more Heal Bell users. Heal Bell exists again, right? It helps your choice scarf hatches when they like it. That's so true.
Yeah.
What did you
Palafin, I'm trying to think of like what type of counterplay we have to it that's lacking in...
Well, I don't think it's a broken Pokemon, but it's a Pokemon that like, again, good gameplay? I don't think it's bad, to be honest. I think it's a fun Pokemon to use. It's very, very versatile, but it also requires a lot of skill to use Palafin. I don't think someone can just make you pick up Palafin and win every game.
I think it's very rewarding on either side of the player base. Like, I think it's rewarding to play with and rewarding to play against.
Yeah, and beat. Yeah,
generally, we have a lot of tools.
Instead of just throwing your bulky water at it, you're gonna get sub-bulked up on, or you're gonna get throat spray boom bursted, and you're gonna go, oh shit, I lose. You know, like you have to be creative.
Being overbearing, but that just hasn't really necessarily played out in my eyes.
The skill dev plus the meta was different. Yeah, for sure. And I think Palafin with Terra is also again a different beast.
Well, yeah,
I don't think it's bad without the like fun. We were just picking in BBR. BBR just started, and spoilers, your favorite streamer man got first pick, and for a half a second,
I didn't get first pick.
Yeah. Anyways, for a half a second, I thought about doing Palafin because I haven't used it yet, but then I just it's not there for me, you know. There's so many extra waters, it's fine. Yeah. They can Scald Toxic. Yeah, there's also more waters for Scald, so it's not as free, or you have to run like a Covert Cloak or something like that. You're missing out on either a Punching Glove or a Leftovers or Boots or... Yeah, 100%.
Is it really fun or allowable with Terra? It is very much the opposite of fun with Terra. My favorite Among Us streamer is Blue. If you remember the Among Us
crazy meta knowledge.
Those are the days.
I think Moon is fine without Terra. If anything, onto 16. Mega Arrow, one of my favorite Megas. I think he's for sure.
Mega Arrow's fire.
I think he's the definition of an honest Mega Pokemon. He's so honest. Yeah. That guy is sick.
You know what? Honestly, the only thing dishonest that's happened around Mega Arrow is Kaz getting Zurel to delete the battle of me knocking him in blue out of DPL playoffs.
True. Dude, more lore.
You know what? I love Mega Arrow. That mon was fire.
That mon's awesome. I really like him. Nadex too, with all the moves he gets, like, you know, in between gens. Like that guy gets DD now. He gets DD. Yeah, dude, get Blue to be quiet in my chat. Keep making fun of him.
Yeah, Blue. You know what, Blue? That was one of my favorite moments in draft.
Now, what about Annihilate?
That guy's just whatever. He's just
Okay, but
does he get
again,
anything in
it's a
that deck that's
Pokemon
super
that like
problematic?
is this a fun Pokemon to build against? Like, is it?
Are
Is
you
it
just
enjoyable?
mad that it smoked you at regionals right now?
Dude, fuck that guy. It didn't even do it. It did smoke me at regionals. Dude, 2 or 3
Bro, you got
losses
it.
to him.
Look, your team was hella
No.
weak to it, and you faced all of the Annihilates in
In the entire tournament. But from a singles perspective, when you are prepping for an Annihilate in draft, is it something like, yes? Like, is it like Blood Moon-esque, right? Doesn't get O-code, can really snowball and smoke teams, right? Can it really, like, is it an enjoyable Pokemon to build for? Is it broken? No. It's also much worse without Terra. Like, you can kind of blitz through it with special attackers, right? Yeah. I'm not saying it's broken. It's just easier. What do you think about the guy who got?
Yeah, I think like the inherent just like I know this is like such a draft league fucking centric take, but like it's just like inherent punishing of U-turn is just so frustrating to play against.
But at the same time, though, could that be a positive thing, right? Draft league player click U-turn, or draft league player has to think about clicking U-turn. Like, is that a good thing?
Yeah. I think this. You know what? We haven't done this yet. I think we throw this one to the chat because I don't really have a strong opinion.
Oh, I'm here for it. All right, well, we'll make a poll.
Let's throw this into the chat. I'm curious what the chat thinks about Annihilate, if they would include it or not. Because reminder, this isn't decisions about whether it's broken or not.
It is obviously not broken without Terra.
Would you enjoy playing against it? If you could choose to play with or against it, would you? I guess that's the way to think about it.
Allow. Fun. I'm gonna even give you guys a cue. Ban. Not fun.
It's broken, but funny. It is kind of funny. It gets toxic. That is like.
Dude, toxic Annihilate actually sounds pretty drip, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of drip. I can't lie. We'll let it get to how many people do we have in chat right now? 21. We'll let it get to when I say, because I was gonna say 15, but there also might be some people like 15 or whatever I say.
It can be toxic too. Yeah, there is that. It looks pretty convincing that people want to allow it.
Rewarding on both sides. Oh yeah, we're at 70%.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep it for now. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Next up, Baxington's. I think Bax is fine. How do we feel? This is actually one we might need to take the chat. This is one I think is tough to talk about. Celesteela. This is a lot of people. I love Selly, but a lot of people despise that guy. A lot of people despise
Celesteela.
Selly.
Is like if I think of like Usum, Celesteela and Tapu Koko are like my two Pokemon that I feel like are almost non-negotiable bans at this point. I understand people don't agree with that. I think it's a problem. Is it a problem in this specific dex? There's a lot of things that like inherently.
Is that a guy that we keep around to kind of check and see? Selly is overhated. I love Selly.
One thing to know with Selly as well is you don't have Z moves to like add to your offensive power. With who is that? I've never heard of that name before.
Who's one?
Mavericks came out to a big lead. Who's what?
What did you say?
Mavericks came out to
big lead. Let's go. It is so fun to use. Yeah, and again, I think it rewards good players too. Like if you're just spamming defensive Selly every week, you're not utilizing all of its offensive capabilities, and vice versa. If I'm spamming auto Selly with a meteor beam every week, there might be a match where my defensive Selly is great, or like the old sets of where you'd see like a hybrid of both, where it'd be like auto leech seed, where it would come in and pivot in early game, chip things down with a leech, and then later in the game you auto up and you win, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I say we keep it without Z moves. I'm not as
flipping letters. I knew who he was referring to, and that's why I didn't flip the letters. Burger. I know who Juan J
I've never
was.
heard of this person.
I know who if we flip the letters, who would be. So we're not flipping.
The one thing there's not a lot of Pokemon that I would remove from 16.
Yeah, well, let's keep going down. Well,
Firemon.
Hold on. Yes, Zardax for sure. We'll keep it around. One of the best guys.
Firemon.
Cinderella's cool. Enam, really fun mon. I like it a lot.
Oh, Enam's
also not overbearing. Gliscor. There's actually 3 in a row we need to talk about, and then there's like 4 in general that I see.
Gliscor is kind of a problem.
Gliscor's if we're talking about the most busy mons of all time, Gliscor's up there.
It kind of is. I think
This also Gliscor with Roost. This is not next Gliscor.
Yeah,
So it gets
with
its recovery
Roost
back.
is real dumb. It's
I have one more
real
question.
Yes, Jason.
If it's Nat Dex for Greninja, does that mean it goes into Battle Bond form or it gets Battle Bond ability?
Well, that's the thing we'll have to talk about. Well, that was one of I said 3 months ago.
The way I would think through it, it's gonna be Gen 9 centric mostly.
Its draft rate isn't
I
too
don't
high,
like
but
this
it's also
score.
like
It's
8 PP
so
Roost.
friggin'
It is 8 PP Roost, but it can also rock and spike and taunt SD
Right,
and
it
smash
has
through
like
fat.
protect. Protect is also another roost.
Yeah, that's
As
true.
well.
You can run like EQ Toxic Protect Roost or EQ Protect Roost knockoff or Facade or whatever it is. I use that guy in OGDL and he's ridiculously annoying. Ridiculously annoying. The fact that he can just sit there and stuff 90% of the waters in the game is really, really suffocating in my opinion. Really don't like that aspect of him.
No. I'm down to get rid of Gliscor. I think
yeah, go ahead and axe him. We can get rid of him.
We lose Gligar as a cost, but that guy was super trash anyway, so
no, he got spikes now. He's so cool.
No, he's still bad, Jason.
Next is Gren, and like Jason said, I don't think it would work that way. I think it would just do whatever the modern mechanic is. So it would be Battle Bond Gren.
I would still we're still going to use Gen 9 mechanics.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be Ash Gren, it would be Battle Bonded Gren. I
think Gren's a fire Pokemon.
Yeah, I love him. I think he is a great Pokemon in draft.
The question I have is, to a certain point, I'm kind of tired of playing against Greninja, having played draft for like 10 years.
I will say though, keep in mind you didn't play Gen 8. There was no Gren in Gen 8. We took a whole gen without him, right? Yeah. I think the general opinion of Greninja is that he is a fun Pokemon. That's and again, rewards good building.
Oh, 100%. Like I think, and also from the perspective of your community, will not have had played with Greninja for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I think Gren is like it's like the perfect draft league Pokemon.
It also
so
plays
it would be
differently
a shame
now
to
too.
lose it.
That's
but I am like, I to a certain degree, I'm not super gassed to play with it.
So Gren is a Pokemon too, in my opinion, where I don't feel as like not happy about it, because I also played a lot of Nat decks in Gen 8, where like I thought Gren, so I played was like standard Gren with no Protean, just Torrent Gren. Torrent Gren in Gen 6, 7, and 8, great Pokemon, but it played completely different. It was a fast offensive spiker. Now, that's a win condition, dude. Like, that guy comes in and he wins the game, but he can also be the Protean spiker or the Protean Life Orb guy that gets stabbed on all his attacks. And it was really difficult to pivot around. I think he plays a lot differently now, and that's a big reason. Big Chupacabra, welcome to Shelgon. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
We could add XY Greninja and kind of break a little bit of the rules that we've been doing. Now it might be kind of a little more.
We're not adding XY Grand. Fuck XY Grand.
Like XY Grand's so
Let's go XY Grand.
I think I have no problem with Greninja as like a Pokemon, but like I am a little bit tired of its existence and omnipresence. Yeah. When I think about it's inherently broken or wrong, and it's like a perfect draft league Pokemon. So
now Kartana is the guy I want to go.
That guy,
I think Kartana is the most boring, uninspired Pokemon of all. If we're gonna get rid of Melmetal and like 3 Mons right here, we're getting rid of Cart.
Cart is like.
Is cost to go? Oh yeah, for sure. We're not taking into account costs. Yeah, it would
we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Kartana, I used it for like 1 season. I used an NCP or whatever, and like I just like you just bring Scarf every week and they can't do anything to beat it.
Yeah, it's one of those Pokemon that overwhelms the shit out of the checks.
I don't know if we gotta bring that one up. That's
like every cart that we had, or like every cart match, like when DPO. The team that Scrappy had in Usum was a cart team, right? I'm pretty sure. Yell at me if I'm wrong, Blue. But the game plan was always like just knock stuff and chip things down with hazards and win the Scarf cart. Like, and it was matchups where you were playing into Celesteela and like these Mons that should wall Kartana.
Scarf cart is inevitable.
Yeah.
Against like you could have like Ferrothorn, Celesteela.
Yes. You just knock spikes,
and the guy still wins. The guy still 6-0s.
It's such a boring Pokemon. It's cart plus hazard stack. You win with Scarf. That's it. Yeah, Swish Cart is one of the most obnoxious Pokemon of all time. Hate that guy. And obviously Usami's really good too. So I think Cart should go too. I think Landorus is fine because I also want to keep Lando T. And Lando I doesn't seem broken to me. And that Dex will move him up. He gets Rock Polish back. That's cool. They both get Knockback, Toxic. Like, those guys are just draft league staples, man. I don't think they're...
Yeah, those are fine to keep around. Metal though, that was brought up earlier. That guy's immediately gone.
Yeah,
I'm not like we're not. I don't even think we have to entertain that conversation. That Pokemon is.
We already
so
talked
stupid.
about it earlier. Yeah, that guy's a tool, man. Again, another Pokemon that like doesn't actually like get beat by its check. And I think that's a big thing. Like with a guy like Cart, right? You have there are checks to Grass Steel. There are checks to it, but when you have 181 attack, you just knock off until it's dead. Or you get it down to 40% and you get it down to 60%.
You knock out the boots, you throw up the spikes, and it's game over.
Or like your flying type that resist Leaf Blade, right? Oh, I have Leaf Blade resist. I'm not gonna get swept. You knock off its boost the first time. It's at 60%. You get Stealth Rocks with your Seismitoad, and then you click Leaf Blade. It switches in, takes 25, and then just gets to a KO and you win.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, that Pokemon's a problem.
Dude, Meltan. No, Meltan's gone too.
No.
No.
Meowscarada I really like as a Pokemon.
I think Meowscarada's a drip. I like him. I think he's a fun Pokemon. He's a cool guy.
He'll be up a little higher probably, but he's super fire.
Yeah. What about Necrozma? How do you feel about Necrizzy? He's another guy. Is Meowth good in this deck? I don't think so. I think it's...
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we have better Pokemon.
Yeah.
Remember, this isn't like a lower tier power level. It's just we're cutting down the decks and kind of leaving the top tiers that we want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're stacking your monster rock damage in order to prevent card beats. Wow. Yeah. It's a Pokemon where you can't just sack off a Mon to get momentum and initiative.
GB banned Necrozma since then. It is kind of... I think, Necrozma is one of those Pokemon that benefits from Z-moves a lot.
You have to ban it because Ultra Necrozma is banned.
What?
No, because Ultra Necrozma, you can't access Ultra Necrozma without Z-moves.
Okay, so
well, I guess you would you count Duskmane?
The other one.
No, because no, because if Solgaleo and Lunala are not in the decks, then it's physically not possible to get the fusion or whatever. Yeah.
Hold on, Jason might be spinning on this one though. But if there are none in the deck, then it's not possible to access the entire line.
Yeah,
we're gonna miss something so obvious with doing these type of rolls.
We'll figure it out.
All right, I'm generally okay-ish with this Pokemon. There's also a lot of toxic back in the format.
Yeah,
and it's not like a really.
I think it's fun. I think it's a great Pokemon, and it's also it's a Pokemon that it's very versatile. I feel like people don't do as good as Necrozma as they think they will because they're like, I'm gonna click Auto Meteor Beam, I'm gonna click Dragon Dance and Swords Dance and Calm Mind, and they get toxic and whittled down and pivoted around. But it's also one of the best rockers in the format. I think one of the best things you can do with Necro is it'd be like a weakness policy 3 attacks rock set. Because Prism Armor is such a broken ability, right? So
yeah, I think I'm okay with this one for now. But
what about the Ogres?
Ogre Pawns are fine. They're irrelevant without Terra.
Yeah, I think they're actually pretty bad. Huh.
I see 2 more mons you have to ban, or at least 1.
Oh yeah,
well we'll go through them.
I think the next Pokemon on the list actually is Superior. It's a Pokemon I don't think it's another Pokemon that just beats down its checks. Is it? But this is also no Terra though. It's also no Terra.
It's not fun. I just think it's a stupid Pokemon.
We're gonna ban mid-tier Pokemon, and I think Serp is one of the most unfun Pokemon to play against, even though with no Terra.
Serp is lame. I'm sorry.
I don't like Glare sub leech spam. I think it is just uninspired gameplay.
Yeah, he's gone. He's just unfun and lame.
I think, and again, people are yelling about regen. I think Slowking is totally fine, by the way.
Slowking Galar. There's look at the guys above Slowking Galar. It's so easy to pressure.
Are banning cut moves? No. So this is under the assumption that all of the moves they used to have are there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess would mean
power?
I guess
no,
hidden
not
power.
hidden power.
Yeah, hidden power we might, but I guess that would be a move ban though.
Yeah.
Right.
Move bans I think are fine. Move bans are fine. I think.
Well, we'll get there when we get there. Regardless, we're banning Sir.
Exist under complex bans, because we would ban abilities like Moody in the same way.
What are your thoughts?
of Papoon?
That's
let's air that.
That is a Clash 4 champion Papoon.
Yeah, let's air that one out on stream.
That's my
great idea.
That's my goat. That's my goat. That's Clash for whatever season we won. He held that team together. Yeah. That's my goat.
Yeah.
Sneasler.
next guy.
Bye. There you go,
Goodbye.
Keegan. I'll give you the option.
Yeah,
I'll give you.
Goodbye. No, thank you. This guy's annoying. You know what? That guy just pisses me off. I'm
Dude,
glad to never see him.
He's
ever
Kaz's
again.
go-to. Maybe at some point.
Like I got this guy off the OGDL doc and the JJDL doc. I'm doing God's work this week, getting the Sneasler out of here.
What do you think about Lele?
Um,
I'm getting into this. I'm feeling this.
don't ban Sneasler. Sneasler,
Buy
yeah.
Sneasel too?
Sneasel.
Buy Hisuian Sneasel.
Yeah, Hisui Sneasel.
So just make sure you get rid of him too. Lele? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Lele. This is not a Pokemon. So like, in Gen 7 Lele's iteration, yes, for sure. It's weird because it's also not a Pokemon that's again super inspiring. It's just kind of a point and click guy. But do I think he's broken? Not really. He's not very fat. He's a good typing. But he's also really slow. Like it's not a great Scarfer speed tier in an Addex sense.
But also, does it support Amon too well? Where like the top tier threats that
I can't really. I guess like, are you saying like terrain offense? Well, I'm trying to think of like what is terrain offense?
What are
like,
you getting the benefit of terrain with in this tier list?
Armor Rouge,
Valiant. Like now, Scizor can't check Valiant, or it'd have to go Iron Head.
Yeah, but I don't think those Pokemon really fit too well together, and you don't really get into Valiant because of Lele, right? And like you're not running Terrain Extender to block a Bullet Punch, right? I think Scarf Lele is fire. Yeah, but it's not. Well, yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's not to where like it feels aggressively obnoxious. So I think Lele is fine. It might be a Pokemon where like, yeah, this guy's a dick. You know, like I don't like him. Terapagos. I have no experience with this guy. This might be a chat vote.
So do you have to ban Terapagos because the Terapagos Stellar?
No, because there's no
We're
Terra.
banning Terra. Banning Terra solves the Terapagos problem.
So. Same like banning Z-move solves the Necrozma one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Do you have a hard feeling on Terapagos or do you want to vote on it? Because I've heard some people complain about him.
He hasn't been around long enough for me to really have.
That's what I mean. I have no experience with him. I've played him.
Yeah,
once.
I'm okay with like having that Pokemon exist still at this point. I'm not like super pressed.
Yeah, I think we can keep it unless someone in chat's like, no, get rid of him.
Yeah.
I think he's cool.
Mega T-Tar, fire.
Oh,
fire
I love
Pokemon.
that guy. Dude, that's Mega T-Tar with Knock too. Super honest Pokemon. Let's go.
Yeah. It's also like super like exploitable by like the top guys as well, which is like kind of
100%.
nice.
His ability is really strong. It is great. I think the one thing that like keeps that guy at bay though is him not having any reliable recovery. I actually think Trouble's gonna be somewhat unhealthy. Turtle, Amolex Turtle. Do you want to explain, like, and elaborate a little bit on why so? Is it just because of like the setup cheese opportunities? I think it still requires pretty good play because like it's tough having to run boots on it very often, which I feel you do, or you have to really, really structure your build around keeping hazards away, which I think can be difficult. At least in Gen 9 it has been. With more removal options, I guess it's true, yeah. Setup cheese.
I mean, we also have a lot more toxic, naturally to
with
play.
Chantel, I think Turtle is broken. That is a thing too. If we're allowing Chantel, let's do a poll. How many people do we got here right now? When we get to 13 votes, we're not even gonna do it even one.
And then there's only one other Pokemon I really have a problem with in this tier.
Oh wait, Owen. Owen.
What?
So just to clarify logic, why ban Kyurem if you can't get
Zekrom? I think that is true. That is totally true. We could talk about Kyurem again. We were banning Kyurem Black, yes, but we're also banning Zekrom and Reshiram, which means Kyurem Black and White wouldn't even be possible, right? So Kyurem is technically on the table. However, like Kyurem? I don't know if I really like Kyurem anyways. Yeah.
Kyurem.
Not for Shutar.
Yeah, that was just food for thought.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We could talk about it. Alright, we're gonna go to 13 votes. Galapagos allow versus ban. Oh, it's actually like pretty 50-50. Oh, just kidding, I lied. It's no longer 50-50.
Just running boots with Sin. Yeah, I don't know. It could be. I guess if people want to allow it. I mean, we still have the speed tours, but I mean, Scrappy is like the best player in DPS.
Okay, yeah. So Michael Jordan won a couple basketball games. It's pretty crazy.
So, I don't know.
It's looking like it's an allow. We have 12, yeah.
And
That's
stuff,
an
but I'm
allow
not like
by
super
far.
opinionated on it either way.
It's a super big allow. We have 13 votes, 84%.
If I look at the rest of the tier, I like Walking Wake. I think that guy's fine.
Zygarde has to go.
Weavile is fine. I think Zera is fine for the most part.
I think Zera's fine. Yeah, it's not a Pokemon that's incredibly. It doesn't. I think like the fact that it doesn't get U-turn makes it a lot better. It knock spams and it really facilitates the rest of its team well. It's very versatile and it's good. I like it.
Yeah,
like
by that logic, Calyrex and the horses. Yeah, I mean that's I mean
like it could
that'll
be.
be
Oh, it totally could be Blue. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think it's when we at least kind of test and figure out a little bit, right?
Zygarde is the other one that like gives me pause.
No, it has to go because power construct.
Yeah, it
that's
literally has to go.
That's not the logic behind it, Jason.
No, it's one of its abilities. Like it's not like a hidden like crazy thing, like an event only thing. It's one of its abilities. So for banning, like there's no complex bans. Yeah.
I guess. Well, yeah. I guess. Yeah. For abilities, then. Yeah. I guess I'm still like trying to think through like how we approach that, but yeah, we can remove the Zygarde.
It's also a Pokemon that you might just want to ban in general. Again.
Oh, we have to remove regular Diancie too. I just saw that. That guy's gone.
Oh no, my god.
Buy Zydog too.
Oh, buy Zydog. No.
Yeah, Zydog.
And Zygarde Cell.
Yeah, playing for Zygarde's Mega Ace. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was considering removing Zygarde anyway, because I think that Pokemon is just super frustrating for like as an existence within.
Yeah, it has the most spammable attack in the game. Ground move that has no immunities. Like outside, I guess Scald, but Scald has immunities at least, right?
Yeah. 15. There's some Pokemon that gotta go here.
I think Darm and Dracovish are both fucking lame.
They're not. Whatever your opinion on those guys are, they're not fun to play with.
No, I think Darm is less bad than Dracovish. I feel like Dracovish is so annoying. There's some matches where it's just absolute dog water, but there's some matches where you legit can't do anything if your opponent positions it in on something slower, and that's not good gameplay.
Yeah, it's just super stupid. I hate that.
I'm running Focus Blast Zygarde now. Yeah, Vish is just a boring Pokemon. I think Darm, pretty similar. Is it way more manageable? Yeah, for sure. Hazards.
It's
just hazards, annoying. But it's still super
annoying. Oh, you
annoying.
Want to move the dock over a little bit, Noah?
Oh, yeah, I got you. Forgot. We're kind of getting farther now.
Yeah, that one's annoying. Yeah, when a Viola moveset is 2 moves, yeah, that one's stupid. It also, I assume, gets access to flip turns somehow.
I think Drill and Guard are both honest Pokemon. Wait, do you want to move Darm too?
I'm getting rid of the Darmanitans. Yeah. Because that means regular Darmanitan is gone too.
Yeah, it's like you'll have like a random super effective move on like a weak Pokemon, but you'll still like have to click Vicious Rend anyways because like it just is stronger. There is a Pokemon though I do immediately want to get rid of though in this tier. It is Goldango.
Really? What are your thoughts on Goldango?
A Pokemon that completely shuts down 99% of the ability to remove hazards is super unhealthy in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear that argument. I hear that.
I think it is super unhealthy. In my one DPL game this season, and it's another Pokemon I want to remove in 14. Goldango plus Samurott just felt so. When I had it, like I was just like I literally never have to worry about hazards going away. Like I always keep my hazards up, and that's gross.
Yeah, Goldango is just
it was a Pokemon I actually didn't think was very good until I used it, and then I was like, wow.
Does Magic Bounce works against? Does
Magic Bounce work against it? Yeah, it's immune to moves. It's immune to status moves. Is it a fun Draft League Pokemon? I don't think so. Oh what? Oh, against Cease's Edge? No, it doesn't. No.
Yeah.
Well, Fish banned the other 2 Galar fossils combined as? No, because it's a separate Pokemon in the decks. They're completely separate in the decks.
That's part of the reason that
you watch your damn mouth.
Because we're not restricted by like those those groupings of Pokemon. Like we can ban if we wanted to. Like we banned Blaziken, for example, but we get to keep Mega Swampert. That guy's fire.
Yeah.
Like we get
and regular Swampert. That guy's fire.
Yeah, like we get to keep those Pokemon around. We're not like beholden to that.
Oh yeah, it's not like a broken Pokemon on its own, but again, it's also like Samurott. We're gonna get rid of Samurott. We can take him off right now. The concept of setting up spikes while attacking and 2-hit KOing 45% of the game is stupid. It's a stupid concept. Is there counterplay around it? Yes. But is it stupid? Yes. It's ridiculous. It's super dumb.
And I agree with the Goldango idea. I think that Pokemon is just not a great presence.
You could defog with G-Weezing? Yes, exactly. You could defog with G-Weezing. You could also defog with Hawlucha, but they're both Pokemon that get smoked by Goldango.
If you want to look, if I'm using Goldango and you want to click defog with your G-Weezing, by all means go ahead.
There are ways to get rid of hazards by technicality. Like for example, like Tusk and Treads can spin on it when they force it out with an EQ and you pop the air balloon or the Shuka. Right? Because you're going to force it out, then you get off your spin. Right? So there are ways to get rid of it, but just like the stress that it puts you on to do it is just, it's dumb. You know?
The one like thinking through this, the one like the telling thing for me and like what you guys should think about when like we're doing this is if your argument, this is not like to single out Fat Helper at all, but like if your argument is like a specific niche scenario that you can get around something, that's kind of like what we're going for when we're trying to remove things.
Yeah, I want to
happy birthday, Money Guy.
Furt and Mousehold. Big happy birthday to Money Guy.
Yeah, that's kind of like those type of like conversations are like what we're trying like kind of indicate to us where the problems lie.
Yeah. No, I think Goldango is a really, really stupid Pokemon. Don't like that guy at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next
everything else in 15 though, like I'm kind of about all of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't a lot of people.
So what about Volk? Do we think Volk is a fun guy, or do you think he's lame? Because we do also just kind of have to.
I don't think without Terra he doesn't add anything, and he's kind of mid and doesn't do anything.
So I guess it's kind of a matter of like how do we want to approach this? Because we have to start mowing down the board, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Do we go through first and get rid of all the super
lame
lame guys?
We should get rid of the
and then go back
first, and then figure out. Yeah,
because
like Volk is not like inherently unfun, but it doesn't contribute. It's
like that Moxie Mickey potential.
I don't think Quackaball is really a problem. I think it's like pretty.
It's a big noob killer mon.
I know. Well, I know people. I was gonna say people call it a noob killer mon. So what do you define?
Is it a guy who's just kind of like? I guess it is kind of one of those mons, right? Where I don't like Pokemon that you're not allowed to sack to, in a lot of instances, right? Without terrible explaining, yeah, for sure. Those hazards are
coming. It's one of those Pokemon that I don't inherently have an issue with, but do we have enough Pokemon
What's up, Brazzy?
slots to justify keeping it? Probably not eventually, but I don't think we're not at the point yet where we would remove Pokeball.
We'll keep an eye on him. We'll keep an eye on them. Unfortunately, I think Quack is. You'd be surprised. I forget who it was. Dashing Tip-Top told me he has like 150 all-time kills with Quack. Which is crazy, because I don't think I've ever lost to a Quack. I don't think that guy's very good.
It's crazy that you played enough Gen 9 to have that, by the way. Also.
That's a lot of Pokemon, dude.
That's just a personal...
You only played one season.
He told all the coaches wanted to run it back. They were playing best of fives every week, and he just kept winning.
Alright. I think all of 15 is okay right now.
Yeah.
We'll probably trim it down eventually.
Oh, yeah, we'll come back.
14s, we're going to start getting some interesting conversations.
Yeah, well, I think first you get rid of Hammerot. He's sitting right there.
Samurott is gone. I think that that Pokemon is just done. I guess Alecki is still here. I think.
Well, my idea too with Alecki, I think you just kind of like move from the same point here as Gambit.
Wait,
is he good? No, but do we like that guy in the decks because of the fact that he's kind of like requiring you to bring a ground? Is he good? No. But if that kind of idea of like we have to have this, or we have to have a water absorb bomb for Dracovish, we have to have a ground type for Lecky, is that a good thing to have?
Wait, question.
Huh.
I might be lagging a little bit.
What's the question?
How convoluted does the species clause get? Because now I'm thinking about it. Sneasler means that Hisuian Sneasel is banned. Hisuian Sneasel is the same Pokedex as Sneasel, so then Sneasel's banned, that means Weavile's banned.
I don't think we have to think about it that deep.
Samurott.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. And I was like, are we down the rabbit hole?
I mean, we can discuss that like at a specific point, but I don't think that's...
Yeah, no, I agree, Burger. I think Alecki is just a stupid mod. Again, obviously no Terra. Is Alecki good? No, I'm one of the biggest Alecki haters in the world. I think it is a terrible Pokemon. Especially with Terra, it's like a top one, not close mon. But without it, not good. But is it cool that like like I was when I was mocking Joey for P4G this last week, the second game I lost to a Lecky. I had a Dawn fan. It was like a more offensive set, and the offensive was great there. So I was clicking Earthquake, killing things. I got 3 with Dawn fan. Dawn fan got down to like 10%, died to the Lecky, and then I lost. I just lost because Transistor, Thunderbolts, and Volts are just not. They're not guardable, right? Volt Switch.
Like, it's not a good Pokemon, but it's an unnecessary stress on matchups that like just doesn't need to be there. The only time it's ever good is when it's annoying.
Yeah, I agree, Jay Ricky. You should always have it, and that is why I think it's terrible. But it's the idea of the concept of requiring you to have something for a certain Pokemon. Should you always have a ground? Yes. Am I still going to draft a ground because the Lecky's not there? Yeah, probably. Right? But should it force me? Is that something that we want in the decks if we don't need it in the decks? Right?
It's not worth the slot.
That's the issue. Especially, and I think if it didn't have Volt Switch, I don't think we'd be even discussing. But obviously, it's gonna have Volt, and like the fact that you have unguardable Volt Switches unless you have a ground, it just doesn't seem fun to me. You know. So on use, that's what we're cutting it down, Razzie. I'll show you guys the team in the server after. By the way, my Usam Tour team. But yeah, Gothitelle, that's another big one to mention. Do we like trapping moves or trapping abilities? I think they're kind of inherently bullshit.
Is Gothitelle... Wait, am I missing something? Oh, it's in 13.
Oh, it's in 13? Oh, wait, someone mentioned in chat. Then we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. We're on that.
I guess now we can talk about Gambit again, though. Do we like Supreme Overlord?
I don't like the idea of Gambit having Pursuit.
Knock and Pursuit and Supreme Overlord. Still, like, it's kind of bullshit.
I'm like...
Go ahead.
I'm trying to think. Is it really a positive experience?
No, because I don't. No. Like, that's the difference, though. Just because something has T-spikes, there is additional counterplay to T-spikes opposed to having a grounded poison. You have Boots, you have Spin, you have Defog, you have Pokemon that don't really care. You have Pokemon that are off the ground. With a Lecky, it is have a ground or don't. That is it. That's where it's unhealthy. Like I think Reggie Drago is a Pokemon we can have a discussion about because there's a good typing in Steel that's still resistant really, really well. But even then, we might get rid of Drago because it's kind of just a dickhead mon. And keep in mind, we also have to cut out like 200 Pokemon off of this list.
Yeah, a lot of these Pokemon just like...
They're going to go because of small things. Yeah. So, a Pokemon like that, I don't know if I want to keep it. Same thing with Gambit.
I would say King Gambit would be like it's going to be something we probably remove anyway because I don't think people enjoy it for the most part. And like we do have to like lower the deck, so I'm okay with removing it.
Make sure you get rid of Bishop too.
Yeah, I don't like the tools that it.
Well, that's what I mean, Burger. I realized that as I said it has Earthquake and Earth Power. So again, is it broken? No. Do I actually like using Drago? Yeah, we're big Drago lovers in this call, but on principle.
Drago.
The fact that I have to switch it, and it also like kind of leads to unhealthy scenarios, right? Where like you have to switch in your fairy or you sack something. I have so much more freedom to make that aggressive double call, especially if I'm making early game. I condition you to that, and you're like, he's gonna make the double. I can't let him make the double. Then I Draco you in the throat. Like, what do? You know?
The Zoroark, I'm banning Zoroark. Don't worry, that guy's gone. I hate the Zoroark so much. They're not. The Zoroarks are not good. But man, is it like just so obnoxious to have to like think about them the whole time? It's just a not fun experience. At least in my opinion, I've always hated Zoroark, even when they're not good.
Anything else in 14? How about Tingluski? How do you feel about Tingluski?
There's more toxic, so I think it's probably okay.
Yeah.
The one thing I've noticed about Tinglu using it is that its movesets are so limited. It's like it might be.
I think it's cool to have like a hazard bot in this tier too, especially when we got rid of Gliscor. Like, I think it's fine to have a hazard spot.
And like, if we're going to include some of the guys at the top, like we do need these like actual defensive Pokemon that can deal damage back. I think it's okay for now.
It's kind of that overload principle, Burger. 100%. You draft multiple things that hate fairies. The fairy has to switch in and check one of them. You sacrifice it and you win with the other one. 100%.
Yep.
We'll get to Drago though. He's gonna be way down the tier list. Okay. I think Lou's fine though. Yeah, we'll go to 13. All right.
A lot of interesting ones here. The first one is Gothitelle. We talked about trapping moves.
I think Goth and Dougie. I don't know. Dougie's the next one. So.
I think Doug Trio is really, really bad.
I do too, but again, the counterplay is so limited, right? The counterplay is so
I mean,
limited.
it's shed shell.
And it just leads to so much more making it. And even like the idea of like, say I have a Drago, right? Obviously we're gonna remove him. Say I have a Drago. You have to run shed shell on your fairy so you don't get trapped by my Gothitelle. I get up 3 spikes. You don't get to be boots anymore. You don't get to be leftovers anymore. So you're taking 3 spikes and my earth power every single time. You're gonna lose your Drago eventually. Right?
Could you get cut to rack?
Yeah.
We'll get to there. Not on the first cycle through, but we'll
He's probably we're kind of addressing problems right now, right?
Yeah.
And then later it's gonna be cutting out guys that we don't fuck with.
Yeah.
The
first wave is to cut out the Pokemon that are generally problematic and frustrating, and then we'll get into like crafting the metagame past that.
Goodbye.
I've had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, I just think the idea of trapping can be really unhealthy in the right person and builder's hands. And also, we want to make a metagame that's not only friendly to people who are good, but people who aren't as good at draft. If you're not good at draft, Gothitell's like broken. Hey, Gothitell's ridiculous. Just one from trying to pivot.
Right, goodbye Dugtrio and goodbye Gothitelle.
Yeah, I'm fine with getting rid of them.
I don't think they add a lot that's positive.
Next up, I think one of the ones that's in this tier that's a gotta go kind of guy is Ninetales. One, I don't like it. I think it's bad, right? But again, I feel like game plans kind of revolve around Ninetales and stopping Ninetales from getting a veil, and you might be able to do it, but like, I don't know. I'm not big on Ninetales. I guess that would mean that we get rid of regular Ninetales too, though.
You just draft Torkoal anyway, so it's not really a loss.
Yeah. Moltres G with his Mickey BS. Yeah, that's another one I was going to bring up to at least talk about. I don't think that one's as cut and dry. Same thing with the Spothra. Kind of talking about that in a minute, but I don't think it's as, bad.
I think Mammo's got to go, right?
I think Mammo's... What do you think that's for?
I think you're waffling it right now, big dog.
I think that mod is so fucking annoying to prep for.
I think it's okay to have Pokemon that have big downsides like that when they have multiple forms of counterplay.
Yeah.
It is definitely annoying, and it totally might be a Pokemon that we cut later.
Like frustrating to prep against, but it's 13 points for a reason.
But especially with Trailblaze, it just gets like the whole thing is that you could normally outspeed it.
I don't think
up, and then you're fucked.
I don't think that Mammo is a Pokemon we discount and say no, we're never banning it. But I don't know if it's in this wave. If that makes sense.
I also don't. I also don't think Mamoswine has shown that any of those characteristics are problematic as of right now or in any of the formats. Really, I
have to see what you mean though. I don't think it's like a bad take.
I get the frustration with it, but there's a reason Mamoswine is this low. I would say those aren't actually they don't actualize in the matchups like that super often.
How do we feel about those Mickey guys in Espathra and Moltres, those Mickey guys set up and kind of push through your face with screens up, right? Because again, if you want to make a friendly metagame for every level of player, is it fun to play against an Espathra and a what do you call it, Moltres Galar? And is it fun, or is it easy for a new player to deal with them, right? Because you remember back in the beginning of Gen 9, Espathra was getting banned everywhere. Free Crook, yes please, all Crook say, and I would die before I let Crook go.
Yeah, Crook is safe.
I'm Crocodile's strongest warrior, or strongest soldier. I would never let that guy go banned. I refuse.
I'm okay with removing both of them. I don't particularly have an issue with
I just think the setup cheese it's uninspiring, it's boring. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just
I think they're good? I think Moltres is actually really good. I think Espathra's terrible, obviously. Yeah, and especially without Terra. 100% J. Ricky.
The Prevo is Flittle, right?
Yeah, Flittle. I don't think it's actually on the board. It might be, actually. So you can better not get banned?
Cannot get banned because we're keeping...
Yeah, maybe.
We have to get rid of regular Moltres as well.
Yeah, regular Moltres too. Which sucks. I like regular Moltres, but... Well. What about Glamour? Do we think that auto T-spikes are bad? I don't think so. After playing all Jet, I think having these hazard spawns is fine, especially when we have more fog in the format. You know,
we got the Nidos back too. We got more. We got actual real grounded poisons coming back.
Just a dog. What do we think about the Toxic Chain guys? Do we think that's just an inherently bullshit ability?
No.
You don't think the ability to poison off touch.
I think
Bullshit.
they're like interesting, but like I don't think they're inherently problematic.
Not taking enough of the meta anymore. Yeah, I think there's definitely some crazy strong stuff.
Like I don't
Well,
think
especially,
Monkey
like,
Dory
OG.
is like necessarily like problematic, and like because we've lost stuff like Gengar. I know it's a meme that Monkey Dory is better than Gengar. We do have to have like Pokemon that fill that type of role.
Yeah.
So I'm not like I wouldn't want to lose Monkey Dory, and I think Okidogi is
Frail,
like, pretty
okay,
interesting.
Surfer. Fernitas.
Okidogi is really easy to counterplay into, and it's like a really good tool to have as like a bulky fighting type.
Especially if hidden powers are around.
Keeping on that theme, Pekkarunt. Emil might kill me. What do we think about Pekkarunt? That guy's kind of bullshit, man. I mean, a Pokemon that literally can't lose to physical attackers seems kind of BS. Again, broken? No. But is he kind of BS? Maybe. A mon that can viably run defense
His
curl.
ability as a Scarf set too is also super troll.
Still a great typing. It gets Parting Shot. It gets like 3 moves, but it's like Gengar with like that dual step combination's like pretty much unresisted throughout the game, right? It can Nasty Plot up, it can recover. It can even Nightshade down. Yeah, dude, Emil loves him some Pekkarunt. But I think Emil likes that mon because it's kind of BS, man. Like, I think that guy's kind of bullshit. If you've watched Pekkarunt gaming, I saw a choice band Genpao not kill that guy after rocks with Crunch. It wasn't Colbur. It was not Colbur. It just didn't die. It took like 80 from choice band Crunch Genpao. That seems ridiculous. I think that guy's got to go personally.
Yeah, he's definitely not fun to play against. So, like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no. Do I think it's broken, Tigrum? No, but the whole premise here, it isn't just we ban the brokens, right? Because yes, we ban the brokens, 100%. But we want to create the most balanced metagame we can, possibly creating our own decks of 450 draftable Pokemon. But we also want to make sure that it is an enjoyable metagame for whether it be a DPL top level guy or little Timmy playing his first draft league
ever draft league.
And yes, Malignant Chain bullshit, dude. Like, the 50% poison chance, then you get confused, you have to run a Covert Cloak, then you read the hazards, you get Parting Shot. Like, it just isn't a very fun Pokemon. I'm sorry, Emil. He's gotta go. He's gotta go.
He's gone. That's, you know, it's tough to see you, but...
Is there anything else we dislike in this tier, though?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I could see people not wanting to play against Togekiss.
I think Togekiss and Suicune are the two that I could see people whining about, but I think they're fine.
But I like to keep walking. Well, I guess we don't have to keep walking away.
No, Walking Wake is a separate mon, yeah, so we'd get to do whatever we want. Do we think... But, so, like, Suicune can be pretty unfun to play against. A good player knows how to play against Suicune, a bad doesn't. But do we also want to just remove all fat setup from the game, too? Because another thing is...
I think you have to, like, enable, like, also other play... Like, in the idea of enabling other play styles.
Because there's a line, like, right?
The whole goal of the format, you know, is to remove, like, the Mickey nonsense and stuff, but like the format doesn't need to be on training wheels in that sense. That like
we can't just get rid of everything that's annoying.
You can't. You can't be. It can't be an expectation that you don't have to interact on these levels with these type of Pokemon. Like you have to be able to interact with the ability of like Encore, Taunt, Phasing, etc. I think it's a requirement for a format. Like Togekiss, like I think might be more.
And I do think Burger brought up a good point too. The general power level of Generation 9, super caught up to Suicune, super fast. I mean, when you played Jacob in quarterfinals, you're like not even max attack Okidogi click Gong Shot and did half to it, and it was a defensive Suicune.
Oh yeah, like that game plan is
crazy,
so
Burger.
easy to like, you know. Yeah, the gameplay against Suicune would just be so easy to like to manage. Like it was a little bit of crap that I think it's fine. And there still has to be skill testing aspects in a format.
Yeah,
I think Suicune is
we have to want like better players to play the format, you know?
Yeah.
You can't just decide like only new players play. We didn't get rid of Kangaskhan, by the way. Do we want to talk about moves then?
We can't ban S-Toss because that like is a relevant move. So I think Kangaskhan. So we're moving into 12 now.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else in 13. I think we're fine with Swampert.
I think the Kangaskhan's.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of them. If we're not, and that's another rule. Tigrum, obviously you just joined in. We're avoiding complex bans. So Mega Kang broken? No, actually really fun mon. I love Mega Kang. But you always see it with a complex band of no size but toss. So
Yeah, and then the other Pokemon in this tier that has to go is Zoroark.
yeah, I guess again it's kind of in that like, you know, BS category of, in the sense like, is it fine to deal with? Yeah. Is it usually pretty bad? Both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're bad, but they're just not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, people
They're
mess
just
it up.
not fun
Okay,
Pokemon
cool.
to play with,
Yeah,
and that's
so-
a personal hate thing. I'll take that.
Hey, we
That's
gotta
the
slim down the decks anyways. I'll give you your couple. I'm looking through though right now. I'm not really seeing any like bullshit mons off rip.
Halucha like comes to mind depending on how many of the terrain guys we keep.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great, but it's something that I would be mindful of. But maybe you want to enable that as an archetype. So
Oh, Basket Legion. Yeah, that is one we just forgot. Wait, no, that's in the next tier. Stop making me look to the next tier. We'll get there.
bro, people, yeah.
We're probably
everyone's
today. My
sabotaging.
plan, guys, today is to get through 10 points, and then we'll do 9 through the rest,
Yeah.
and then kind of like cut down the decks afterwards in another stream. So I was actually going to
Cleavor's
bring up
another
Cleavor
example.
next. Yeah, is the concept of attacking hazards bullshit? I don't know.
I mean, if that's
Cleavor's
our
sense
justification,
for
if that's our
Hammerot, yeah.
justification for Samurott, then I think.
Well, the
Cleavor
thing
should
is,
probably
though,
go
I
for
don't
it.
know. I think it's the combination. It is kind of a bullshit mechanic, regardless. But I think like part of the problem with Hammerot is that it KOs like 40% of the game, 50% of the game with Ceaseless Edge, much less Razor Shell and like all the other coverage moves he gets, X's or for grass, things like that, and has strong priority. Cleavor's still a bug rock type, you know, and really struggles. in that
It's still a
regard.
brutal typing. That is true.
Yeah, but rocks aren't as bad as 3 layers of spikes, right?
Exactly, and that's another thing, right? Spikes are a lot more impressive, but rocks are also, I only need to do this once, right? And I get damage off at the same time. I think that Cleavor is eventually going to be cut anyways in like that second round, so I'm personally okay with getting rid of him now. I think.
Yeah, Cleaver can't sack a soup.
I think we're, dude, Burger. I think we're gonna ban Smeargle anyways. That guy's lame. I hate having to pepper. Is Smeargle good? No, it's terrible. It's a terrible mod. But do I like having to bring some kind of taunt
game
lead?
that Smeargle has come to has been for a positive.
Yeah,
reason.
but you can't even taunt Smeargle anymore.
What if it's Mental Herb?
No. I'm saying like because Ceaseless Edge and Stone Axe.
Oh yeah, for hazards, yeah, and that's even for
Well,
that.
yeah,
So you
but
have to
I
have
mean,
some like
like,
multi-move hit that like Oko's hit or something like that. And again, it's just nah. It's a headache. It's a headache.
No, it's just nobody enjoys playing with that guy. The rest of, I actually don't think I have a problem with mainly anything.
Wait, so
population
to ask the question just one more time. So if you ban Cleave, or do you ban Scyther and then Scizor?
Oh, I guess that's.
I'd say we're leaving Cleavor for now. Let's
We'll
investigate.
leave Cleavor.
Let's
Yeah,
we'll get
leave
to
Cleavor
that
for now.
later,
That is
'cause
a good point. I don't know.
Okay.
I think the
that
next
is
one's.
that is a real cost. So I think we leave it for now.
Are we looking
Are we
at?
locking at 450? Not necessarily, but that is
That
like
is
the
the general
size of
idea.
what we're doing.
It's something around there, right? And that's because that was the end of Sword and Shield. It was at like 430-ish. So we're giving ourselves a little bit more leeway. I'm not sure what the Scarlet and Violet dex is at right now. We'll have to look.
Yeah.
Of like, and that's of draftable Pokemon. Keep in mind, not Pokemon in general, but draftable Pokemon. If we ban
Yeah,
Scizor's
like we have to keep
Mega
Mega
yes.
Scizor. I actually think we have to keep Cleavor if that's the line we're gonna draw. So we're gonna keep Cleavor.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a Pokemon people are super upset about. The next
nothing
couple are
else
pretty
in this
honest.
tier
Yeah, I'm looking down.
There's nothing really here.
Pidge.
Volcanion is
I think
kinda
Sableye's
stupid,
great. I think Sableye enables Stall, and I think that's good.
but That's, yeah,
I know people don't like
yeah,
that, but I
decent.
think the fact that Stall is an unplayable playstyle, one in Generation 9, but even in Generation 8 without it on like balanced teams. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it does get rid of Nadex. That'd be cool. Yeah, I think Sableye's good.
we're not. Gonna,
no.
I'm just making sure we're not going to ban Pokemon. Just. To
I
get-
mean, we're definitely going
definitely
to cut down. Yeah, we are going to have a reduced X. We kind of need to do that, right? This is in the frame of like, if we built the Paldea deck specifically for Draft League, like the Pokemon in the game of Paldea were specifically there to make the best Draft League form possible. So yes, we are going to have to make cuts. We're not.
Mhm.
We're making
Because
a
that's
perfect
not-
metagame in the context of what would be possible in a game. And
Mhm.
450 draftable Pokemon is about what we get with no Nat decks.
Part of the thing also you have to keep in mind is like you can like make things that are like the reason to limit it to a size as well is to make the format approachable from the amount of mods in it. Part of the problem that I have with NatDex personally is that it is a little unapproachable due to the size of the format. It makes it so that you have so much more to account for in building, that when you limit a dex into a more concise, like the regional dex that we build with in Gen 8 and 9, that creates a better experience kind of at all skill levels, I think. So like, is there a perfect metagame that has like 700? I think like a smaller dex is inherent into it being a perfect metagame, is condensing the number of Pokemon that exist.
100%. We've been playing draft since 2017, 2016, 2015, whatever. So we understand what's good, what to look for too. But again, if we want people to approach the game in a different way, like I think reduced decks are actually a good thing. I'm kind of glad they started doing that in Scarlet or in Sword and Shield.
Agreed, 100%. I do think it's a lot more interesting.
It's just their decks kind of suck. You know, like their decks are kind of bad.
They're not great. They could be better. But everything in 12 I'm okay with right now.
Yeah. I'll move to 11, and I think Emil mentioned it before, but we got to get rid of the Basculegion.
Basculegion.
Yeah,
goodbye.
Male and female, so just make sure you get both those, and Basculin.
Yep.
So, cut down the decks a little bit that way. I personally just be concerned about offense versus defense, physical defense. I mean, yeah, it's more so just like, I mean, you can't really do it via stats because stats just don't tell the whole story. But one of the main goals is to make multiple playstyles viable. If you play Gen 9 draft, you know that you can't play Shawl. You cannot play Balance. You cannot play Semi-Shawl. You can't, or you'll lose. I'm depending on, you know, the skill. Not that, you know, a good player can't do well with them, or, you know, you might play against someone who doesn't know how to deal with fatter playstyles. But a gross majority, you're not going to be able to play against that. Well, at least. Get rid of Diggersby so age well can't have his
we're
glue.
keeping Diggersby.
Dude,
that guy's
no.
super fun.
That guy's shice. That guy's
shice. So epic. No. I'm going through this.
There
There's
isn't anybody egregious in the, and as we get lower, we're not gonna have egregiously broken Pokemon, and that's again, that's when we're gonna have to start making cuts based on like things that we want. We also between streams, we're gonna need to look at like how many of a certain typing there are, how many of this there are in this menu,
yeah, we're gonna have to
this, we're gonna have to like kind of plan this out and kind of write down numbers and make sure things aren't super lopsided every which way, right?
Yeah.
But I'm kind of looking through right now. There's not anybody that I think is particularly lame. I like Clef Game Grimmsnarl. I think it's important to have those prankster BS
those
guys.
Those are great tools to have in a format.
Yeah, Regidrago. That's the one. There you go.
Regidrago. Goodbye.
That guy's got to go.
I love that Pokemon. Was very fire in LTM, but a very, very bullshit guy. Very bullshit Pokemon.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's one of those Pokemon that just requires really restrictive counterplay.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else I particularly think is ridiculous. Screamtail is gone.
No, I think
there's a lot of base guys. Yeah, there's a lot of base guys in this tier. I'm cool with them. Yeah. Dox, Uxie, Venusaur, Xurkitree. Dude, God, Xurkitree. Alright, we got one more.
10. Another tier with not a lot of guys that like are super egregious either. One guy that I think is like non-negotiable we keep is Sylveon.
Palmot.
By Palmot? I don't think Palmot's that bad.
Revival Blessing?
I don't know if a gross majority of places are allowing that at this point.
Really?
Next tier would be Garg. Yeah, a gross majority of places are allowing it. It just doesn't. It still doesn't get drafted because Palmot's just not a great Pokemon.
It's also banning a move is also like for the whole tier. It's also different than banning it for one Pokemon. So like you could. That's not a complex.
I don't know. We'll talk about that because I feel like that's still kind of a.
We have that we have to debate to a certain degree still.
Cloyster is a Pokemon we'll definitely talk about because I agree they are kind of making it bullshit.
Cloyster is not today.
Yeah. I will say Amel did bring a good point in Garganacl. Super obnoxious Pokemon, right? I think he's just kind of lame. I think now do I think Garg is good? No. Slap a cloak on whatever you're trying to check with and it's probably fine. I think the best Garg sets are actually like Assault Vest and like offensive Assault Vest or like cursed like
that
offensive.
Forcing of items is like where a lot of the problem in building comes from and is where the frustration exists. So I think Garganacl makes a lot of sense.
Adrian, Iron Throw, how am I get rid of that guy just because he pisses me off?
Booty Flute.
Booty Flute becoming a Shelgon member. Thank you, brother. Let's go. Appreciate you, big dog.
Booty Flute.
Dude, I love when people have silly ass names and they sub or they like become a member because I like saying them out loud. It gives me an excuse. Thank you, boss.
Silly ass name. Silly ass name. That's his grandfather's name.
Speaking of grandfathers.
All right.
I think otherwise, there's nothing really.
What did you say?
I don't think there's anything in this tier that's really problematic right now.
Well, we got rid of guard. We got rid of. Did we get rid of someone else? I forget. I'm scrolling down. I think most of these Pokemon are healthy and good for the game, actually. Food, gifting 5 memberships. Absolute
Dodger, any
goal.
Hunky Dunky Dodgers?
Oh,
Easy
dude,
dodge,
poor
Hunky Dunky.
Kai. Thank you so much, bro. I
Let's go, that
appreciate it
gets
a
you-
ton.
That gets you to the member goal.
We
Hey,
did get to the member goal. I don't know, dude. I didn't think we were gonna hit a member goal today, so I won't lie. I did not set an actual member goal. But hey, what you're doing here for I can't wait for this format. Keep it up, guys. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
The member goal
Heck
was
yeah.
we put Jason back. We put Jason.
Yeah, if we get
in the
100
D
members
League.
today, Jason goes back to D League.
Yeah,
Dude, what's
Dude,
happening?
Salazzle's fire. That guy's super based. I love Salazzle.
I think Salazzle's fine.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot of counterplay around, a lot more heal play. I think Salazzle's a lot cooler for better players. It can be a little bit BS, but it's also a Pokemon that I think like newer players have trouble positioning.
It's so easy to switch into. Like, that's the problem.
Mhm.
You can like accidentally check that guy without even without.
It's very
trying.
weak. It's very frail. And
It
if you're
doesn't
running
go
those
to- it doesn't-
sub-toxic sets too, you're super hazard weak. Obviously, you don't
Yeah.
want to be boots in that instance.
It's a really good tool to have on the board.
Do we want to do one more point? We just got 5 memberships. I'm feeling good. We'll go one more point. That'll be the
Yeah,
number
you
goal.
know,
We went to
they
9.
give you some money. We
Yeah,
got
dude,
some
you give me some money.
interesting ones here.
Yeah, there's
We
some
had
there's
some
some cool
ones that I
ones, and
wanna
we like
talk
already
about.
talked about one mod we're for sure gonna get rid of here, right? And that's from the base of unfun. I don't know if I find Slaz. Maybe again, there's obviously gonna be some inherent bias too, right? Because as someone who's been playing for a long time, I don't see fat shit and get annoyed because I think it's unfun, right?
Yeah, I like
I deal with it.
toxic protect is like a type of
It's just
thing
a
that like
yeah, it's
so
in
many
draft
things
league.
can do.
Yeah.
I don't think it being able to do it to a steel type is inherently a problem.
Dude, Keegan's gonna get so mad this year when I say what I need to say. But first, I think we get Rookleister.
That's fine. I think that guy's terrible.
I don't think he's good per se, but again, it's one of those mons that like super Mickey's through, you know.
There's no. I'm okay with just getting rid of it. There's no need for it. It doesn't add much.
Next up, there's another Pokemon that starts with C that I think is really lame.
Which one?
And if we're talking about newer players, Cresselia?
No, dude, come on. There's no way. we're gonna
Objectively.
All right. Here's my reasoning to keep Cresselia. We can revisit it. I think Cresselia is a needed tool to beat a lot of the top of the board right now.
Mhm.
Cresselia is a really good tool to beat stuff like Mega Medicham, Mega Gallade.
Yeah, I guess we do have a lot of
Lottie
strong
Pikachu.
fightings, and it does check a lot of them well.
Yeah, it's
And again,
a really
it's not a
good
broken
tool.
Pokemon in any
Yeah.
sense of the word, right?
Obviously, I'm biased, but I think Crest is a really good tool. The one Pokemon that we can remove now, I think, just for like the sake of like keeping our tier, is.
Put it to the
there's
streets
no
for
use
a vote?
Arctozolt.
Cress's lame. The streets want to vote.
Let them vote for it.
All right, we're gonna go to 10.
While we're
We only
doing
got
that, I'm
15
gonna
people here right now. We only got 15 people
Yeah.
right now, so we're gonna get to 10 votes.
One thing I'm gonna do is remove Arctozolt because we already removed Ninetales, so this Pokemon has like no use anymore. In the
Yeah, I
format.
guess he's just a bad. I mean, we have.
I guess you have Chili Reception, but like.
Well, you also have Obama Snow.
You know what? Okay, maybe not. Yeah, I guess there's maybe a few more options. We leave him for now. He's kind of dumb,
what we
but
saying?
we do have Arctozolt still.
Cresselia. All right, the streets will decide. We will go to 10 votes. We only have 16 people. Why is goal at 8 points? Because goal is sick. I think I actually
Bro,
put
this
it
is
there when I
way
was
too close for no reason. All right. The
Oh, we
streets
got the
voted for
12. It's an allow. We're good, Keegan. It's,
We're
you made
safe.
it-
All right. Look,
Dude,
I see
Keegan,
why
can
people
I
might
tell
not
you?
like it.
Can I
Look,
tell you,
I see why
Keegan's
people
going.
might not like it, but I love it. I think
Here's-
it's a really good tool. I think you need tools like that.
Can we see the rest of
To be
9? Oh yeah,
honest.
we're gonna scroll down. We're gonna scroll down as we go. Yeah, we'll get there. What did we get to? We got past Cresselia. So I mean, we'll go right here. Keep scrolling. Yeah.
There's nothing really.
Obviously,
in
there's
mine.
like some dumb inside jokes in here that we'll obviously remove as we go. I'm gonna move this so you guys can see a little better.
Yeah.
Like directly under Cresselia is what do you call it? Dondozo, right? Yeah, or Delphox, but we're not getting rid of Delphox. At least right now in this round. There's Dondozo, Dedun, Emboar, Florges, Flygon. Get rid of Flygon just for Meowth. That's my goat. Yeah, there's Sceptile.
I mean, Flygon's not a draftable Pokemon, so we should probably...
I guess it's the idea of Shed-Tail, right? I think that's something we can address before the stream today, and that's like a good thing to kind of talk about. Is
I'm removing Flygon just for saying. I'm just standing on business with that guy. He's not usable.
Right.
We don't.
Keegan's mascot. You get a bit of. Is Quick Claw banned? Yes, Quick Claw big band. Meowth 9 big in. Dude, that's my goat. Him and Golett. They're holding it down at 9 and 8. Those are my mid tier goats. All right. So I think the last thing we can discuss today is the idea of Shed-Tail. And if we want to completely axe every Pokemon that gets Shed-Tail, or if we're deciding that we're banning specific Pokemon with Shed-Tail, or if we're deciding that Shed-Tail is fine as a whole. I have not really played many leagues that have allowed it. I've traditionally think it's kind of bullshit, right? I think it's lame. Ban Leaves, yeah, because he sucks. Or because Big Key goes smoked with him in LTM.
Big Leaves is fire.
Yeah, when he can tear. He's going to be terrible here.
Yeah, he will be really bad here. We will probably remove him.
So like, what do we think about Shed-Tail? My personal stance on it has always been, I think that the move is kind of bullshit. I think we always ban the combination of Substitute plus Baton Pass. So the fact that we're kind of deciding to allow it into one move, you know, it seems unhealthy as fucking that does. Yes, but if we're banning a move in general, does that count as a complex ban? If we're banning a move from the metagame, or banning a move off of versus removing a move off of a Pokemon, right? So it's different from saying like Mega Sceptile cannot use Shed-Tail, but like Orthworm can. Are we saying is that considered a complex ban?
My thought is that it's a clause, not a complex ban. So a complex ban in terms of like where it's problematic is in Oras, where we had Blaziken being allowed. That's a complex ban. I think that's problematic. We don't consider a Moody ban in the same frame.
But that's a Smogon clause.
That's a clause.
Yeah, but that's a Smogon clause that's listed in Smogon. Is there a Shed-Tail clause in Smogon?
But like if we're considering that a clause, whether it's by Smogon or by us.
No, Anker, because Subpass is a Smogon clause. You can't Baton Pass in Smogon. So that's where the difference is.
If you are banning a move across all of the Pokemon, to me that's a clause, not a complex ban. If you are banning Seismic Toss on Mega Kangaskhan, that's a complex ban.
Yeah, because it's a specific move on that Pokemon.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, and I kind of agree. But I guess we just have to decide now, and we should put that on the dock and in the rules and like on the pin thing, is that we can create our own clauses, but we can't ban specific things on certain Pokemon. Is that where we draw the line for this?
To me, that is like, that's where the line.
So we can say like Shed-Tail clause, right? Yes. Not Cyclozar can't use Shed-Tail, but Orthworm can, you know? Because like Orthworm's, I know Amel's gonna tell me I'm wrong. But Orthworm's a shitty user of the move, right? It's fucking Orthworm. That guy sucks, right?
Because like
favorite Canadian, there's only like 3 of them allegedly.
Because like we have like evasion clause, which is the banning of a group of moves. That is a clause that's a combination of move bans. We're not going to ban everything with double team. So you have Shed-Tail clause where you ban Shed-Tail, and now everything can't use Shed-Tail. I think it's in the same. We already, I guess, have set a precedent that clauses that ban moves are not complexes in this situation.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's fine. So I think we would create a Shed-Tail clause in that instance.
Yep.
And just say no Shed-Tail, because I don't think that's a Smogon clause at all.
No, it's not.
All right, fuck it. We'll do 8. We'll do 8. I'm feeling good. We'll go until we hit the 2-hour mark on stream at 1:53. Right? So that's how it's better than fast Shed-Tail. Until you can't get off the Shed-Tail because you take too much damage and you're an Orthworm. Get out of here, Amel. You're still an Orthworm.
All right, this might be where we might actually kick a few guys out here, to be honest.
An 8?
Maybe.
Who do you see off rip that you're like, fuck this guy, he's lame?
Well, Golett obviously probably just goes back down to its normal price.
Let's finish the list.
No, we're not, dude. It's almost.
To be fair, is we could zoom through these for bullshit guys. To be fair, how many bullshit like Mickey guys are there?
You know what? They're kind of spitting.
All right, we're getting through it. We're getting through it. We gotta get through it.
Let's just get the dumb guys. Is there anything dumb?
Because that's what we're doing. Well, yeah, and we'll go a little bit faster. We're only doing dumb guys. The next stream we'll like kind of mow down the list a little bit because we also have to evaluate. I'm looking through 8 right now, and there's no objectively bullshit guys so far.
No.
As far as I can see, yeah, there's no Mickey guys. I mean, like, would you consider Venomoth kind of Mickey?
Not without Terra. It's pretty.
Yeah, but it's still like tinted lens, sleep powder bullshit.
I mean, we allowed the Omega, so I'm not like,
I think it's fine then.
I'm kind of whatever on that guy.
Yeah. Let me keep scrolling down so you guys can see. It ends up Wheezing Galar for that portion of the tier list. We'll move to 7. Cycle? I think Cycle's fine. I mean, it's reaching, but it's if we have a Shed Tail clause, we're fine. Man, please don't.
I think Galastria. No, did we come up with the complex?
You have to ban the horses.
No, we don't. Why?
Because you can make Ice Rider and Shadow Rider.
Not if we just ban Calyrex. We banned Spectre already too, so if we just ban Calyrex, we can leave Glacier in.
Yeah, Galastria should be fine for now.
Hey, why you do this?
If I look at 7, Slurpuff is kind of cheesy. I don't know how you feel about that guy, Owen. That
What'd
guy's
you say?
really
Sorry,
good.
I just got back.
Slurpuff is kind of cheesy.
Slurpuff's a little cheesy. Because it's one of those guys. It's like sticky web, plus the aspect of like belly drumming up, and plus being like some kind of like bullshit cotton guard call mindset. Yeah, I think he's kind of cheesy. He's probably a Pokemon we cut eventually anyway, so I'm cool with cutting him. Mega Banette with Prancer Encore? No, I'm actually really for leaving Mega Banette in because it's finally like usable. Actually.
That's an interesting thing to have. Like that guy being playable is like kind of an interesting aspect of the game.
Yeah. We're in 7, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So Slurpuff gone. He's kind of Mickey.
I'm looking through right now. What about Mousehold? I don't like Mousehold. I hate Pop Bomb.
Yeah, you can remove him. I'll remove him.
Yeah, I think like again, is it broken? No, I actually think the Pokemon's terrible, but I hate being like required to run a helmet on my guy or I like lose to some some shitter.
You think Poltegeist is annoying?
No.
Poltegeist, I guess with like the Smash aspect, it's kind of similar to Cloyster in that regard.
Yeah, but it's like a lot worse.
With Strength Sap and just annoying asset.
Yeah, it might be a guy that gets cut later. I see what you're saying because I actually hate Poltegeist. We being last respects, it was Houndstone gone.
Oh wait, yeah, Houndstone.
Well, that we like. I think Houndstone as a Pokemon is like fine and probably desirable to keep.
Yeah.
So we probably would.
As like a low tier defensive ghost, we'll just have a last respects clause, which means we could always revisit Basculegion later. But I'm also okay with less range. To be honest.
Bring my goat home.
Who?
Basculegion, bring him home.
Bring him home. Dude, Basculin didn't deserve this even. Is there anything in this low tier area that we just think is BS?
Well, we gotta get rid of regular Samurott.
Oh, that's true. And Dilwat.
Regular what?
And Oshawott. Dude, Nate is just...
No, Amel's cooked. Amel's so cooked.
Dude, Nate just wiped a bead of sweat off his forehead. He heard no Oshawott. Let me in the league. Let me in the league. Please.
Otherwise, I think everything in here is like chill. I don't think anything past this point is going to be a problem.
No, I think we're probably mostly going to get through it. We're on to 6 now. Shellstar Dino, Kaz's favorite. Oh, did you already look into 5? Yeah, I'm kind of looking really fast right now. We'll have Moody Claws, so we don't have to...
I have to remove Cursoring as well right now.
Oh, true. Dude, that is a big blow, though. I'm fine with removing the Ursalunas, but
yeah, but we don't have Dragapult anymore, so we don't need him anymore.
Dude, no, that guy's so drip regardless. Oh, I love that guy, man.
You know what? Some mons just gotta be sacked off. It is what it is. It is unfortunate, but... Alright, here's the only one. I looked like quickly at everything else. I think everything else is like generally fine.
There's so many like old ass inside jokes probably that are on this tier list. Shout outs to fucking Slowpoke Galar and 2 or 3 points or whatever it is.
The only Pokemon left that I would question is like, do we want to just remove Ditto? He's like just dumb.
I think he's kind of dumb. Only thing, Onker just said it too. I don't think it's an issue.
That's the only thing 5 and below that's like really like, okay, this guy's like a little foolish.
I I guess, kinda, but like at the same time too, is it a bad thing to have like good setup deterrent in that
Provide
regard?
for-
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
I think that's something we leave for now. And it's also a Pokemon that, again, when people first start playing, dude, you see a Ditto drafted in every league.
Mm-hmm.
It's how weird that she. I'm sorry, guys. We have to hold Stony and let her lick my hand, or she's gonna start barking at the door again. She said, "I'm done. I want out. Say, I want out." Say, can we get some Snowies in the chat? Oh, no. Okay.
Someone said Shedinja. No, that Pokemon is. I mean, that'll get removed because it's not draftable. But
No, Ditto is stupid, dude. That's a regional champion Ditto. That's like 12% usage Ditto. My goat. Oh yeah, I know it's not good. Or I know that's what you're saying. We're just kind of discussing that aspect of it. Is there any more bullshit in these low tiers? Like,
no, there's really nothing here.
like they're down here for a reason, you know. I'm sure
Yeah,
half of these guys are gonna get cold in a couple days. But I don't really see any bullshit.
No, nothing that needs to be dealt with right away.
Not at all.
So I think that's a good first pass. Honestly, I think we've got.
I wonder,
through
is there a
most of
way to
them.
tell how many Mons we have right
I'd
now?
have to. I manually counted last
You
time.
made it. Oh,
It's not-
shit. I think we probably. I wonder what it started at though.
You could just
Oh,
copy
no.
all. You
That's
just
fine.
select the entire thing and it'll give you a count in the corner.
Of the cell
No,
numbers.
you can't select all of it because it,
Yeah, because there's
should.
cells in between, like here, 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 here. And we could just go like this, count down, see how many
It'll
this
count the
is, and
fruits
like
as
yeah,
well.
like you
Yeah.
know, we could do that, which is fine. But we'll see where we're at and stuff like that. You know. Oh, Snowy sleepy.
I guess I see what Jason means. No, it's whatever. I don't think it matters too much yet. We're not even at the point where we're like crafting to the 450. We're just trying to like get rid of the easy.
Yeah,
easy
these guys
wins
are
off
going
the
no
board.
matter what. Get them out, and
Yeah.
then we can
Get the
go
easy
from
wins off the board, and then we can work towards what our
that
next step
450
is.
rough number. Again, when we say 450, it's just a rough number, guys. We're not like going. too
That's
crazy.
just like a
Did you
rough
keep any
estimate.
notes? No. Fucking geek. He put his mouse right here. As soon as I
Bro,
said
there wasn't much
big-
notes to take from this.
It was easy. Just
You
make
know,
sure,
I'll
we,
put-
make sure we say stuff about the clauses and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the clauses in.
Yeah, I think that's it, gang. I think we covered what we need to cover today. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're good. Thank you to Booty Flute the Goat for becoming a member himself and gifting 5 memberships. If you're not in the server already, join. I need to make sure I get everybody updated that's a member right now and get them the rules and all that fun stuff. But I appreciate you hanging out. This is a fun concept. I think this will be a cool little metagaming series. And hopefully
Absolutely.
a good video in like 6-7 months whenever.
Yeah, this is. I'm already liking the looks of this format. This format looks like it's gonna be super fire.
Yeah, we've already gotten rid of all the cheese and now it's just